Oh, but then the other one.
Or the spooky.
But then I also liked the, what was the other one? The expert sounded interesting.
Yeah, like so the spooky is the more like which is deep into the supernatural already.
Yeah.
And then we would have a balance between a more mundane, like the flake, and somebody supernatural. And again, it's also super interesting to play two completely mundane characters.
Yeah.
Which don't care about supernatural in themselves, but just fight it.
Yeah. Like this is the yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah,
having a balance of the kinds, and then okay, so
I don't know the crooked that well. This is why I would prefer spooky or expert. But,
okay, let's see.
I will learn it as well quickly. So
okay, I mean, I can figure out spooky. I mean, of the three, yeah.
Yeah, there's something you can use magic, like every character can that. But for most, it simply doesn't come up because like there's no easy way simply to do magic. But for sure, the spooky, he's or she's the one.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, I
has an immediate touch to it.
Yeah, I mean, I remember playing sort of like magician things before, and then later on the end of playing, I ended up really getting away from that.
Yeah.
But you can try that. Okay.
Yeah. So, or the expert, and the expert has this nice thing that it has like all this lore with it, and like it makes sense that people come to the expert, like for consultation, like Ghostbusters style, like.
Yeah, well, that's what appeals to me about that is getting all the inside knowledge.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, it seems slightly less like complicated and intense as this one.
Indeed, yeah. Then go for the expert.
Yeah, I would tend towards that between the two, I think.
Cool, yeah. So we have a flake and an expert.
I need to play this. Yeah.
So when you create a character, so the first thing you do is when you read the text which says getting started. It makes it quite easy. It says you first pick a name, but my approach usually is I first create the character and then I have an idea of what the name could be. And yeah, and then you go for the look and the ratings, breed and moves, and yeah, that's it. I would say looking at the moves first actually makes more sense to me. And so the flake you can okay. I think I need a pencil. Okay. That's something because I only play online at the moment. I don't really have.
I've got tons of pencils right there.
All right. Yeah, I think.
Oh God, and I need to figure out this chord thing.
Oh. Yeah. Don't have a pen. Oh, there's one.
There's a ton of pens and pencils, and that's sort of like a.
The flake, yeah. David, do you want to tell us already about the flake while we're fixing the computer?
There it is.
So the flake is someone who's convinced that they're aware of the secrets underneath what's actually going on. The flake is the conspiracy theorist, the one who supposedly sees through the veil of mundane life. They're very suspicious, very very short of themselves, and And yeah, that's what they're all about. So my flake is named Stephen Groot.
Ah, there we go. Perfect timed.
And I'm one of those strange people who's at the same time very smart, but also very flaky. There's some sort of faulty wiring where I'm smart and I know I'm smart, and that makes me think that I know stuff that I don't actually know.
What happens? Have you chosen from the look bullet points already? Something like for the eyes and the clothing?
Yes. So my character is a man. He has constantly suspicious eyes, and I think his clothing is ratty. I'm gonna go for the ratty clothes.
And which rating set did you choose?
I chose the 5th one. One with lots of sharp, lots of weird, and very low.
Yeah. Quite tough for flake, yes. For flake.
Right, right.
And I see from the moves you could pick 3, and you picked C. It all fits together.
Mm-hmm. And suspicious mind.
So, and the moves, they give you like special abilities and like individualize your character. And so you can have a quick look. Like
how many do you pick?
Yeah, you pick 2.
Okay.
Yeah, and for example, the C, it all fits together, simply says that whenever you roll that move, which is called manipulate someone, which is like this all described on this here, like every time the fiction triggers one of the events, like if you want to protect someone, then you roll that move.
Okay, cool.
It's pretty straightforward.
Okay.
And like the flake, whenever you manipulate someone, he doesn't need to roll just charm, as it says here, but he can use his charm, it doesn't fire. Because it all fits together.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me just, I'm sorry that I didn't have this look at before.
Don't worry. That's
cool.
Also makes sense to do it together.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay.
Other moves do things simply in the fiction, like the suspicious mind, which Stephen Groot has. It's like if someone lies to you, you know it. Which is quite cool.
Okay, so and they're all different. Okay, so
yeah, and the contrary is just great, Mark. When you receive someone's honest advice and you do the opposite, you get experience points, and that's the one I told you about.
One of these other players. Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna try to go through this quickly so that it is.
I can. And I guess you have selected already from the gear list, David?
That's what I'm working on right now. I'm trying to decide if I'm really paranoid and want the biggest weapon I can get to protect myself, or if I'm really paranoid and want small weapons so they're concealable.
Yes.
I haven't decided yet which way my paranoia is.
Might also depend on our expert. which direction she goes.
Okay. Yes. I mean, I don't understand the mechanics because it's one of those things that always went over my head anyways.
Yeah.
Well, I would say don't worry too much about the mechanics. Go for what makes for the best story.
Yeah, well, that's my instinct. Yeah.
In games like this one, in Powered by the Apocalypse games, that I found usually winds up giving you the best experience anyway.
Yeah.
It's not important to pick the options that will ensure your success.
Yeah, of course. See, that was my feeling all along. Okay, I think I like this because it's just basic and very intrinsic to this kind of character, probably. And then I'm between this one and that one.
All right. I have read about this sort of thing. Sounds already good. It's also like you can replace one skill by the other.
Okay.
And, but like under extremely important situations, like when you are running through fire or something like that, you know everything about fire for sure.
But it doesn't do any good.
And so often right. The great thing about often right is that it works well with the contrary, right?
Okay.
If they take your advice, they get plus a bonus. If he does the opposite, he also gets a bonus. So it could also like be a stretch between the two of you all the time. So the other one you are interested in
this one
wasn't as bad as it looked. Yeah, I would rather take one which like adds more to the story. This is quite strong on a mechanical effect.
Yeah, no, I agree. I just like the sound of it as a literary device, but that seems good. So let's do that.
Yeah. So often right says when a hunter comes to you for advice about a problem, give them your honest opinion and advice, and if they take your advice, they get +1 ongoing.
So basically.
And you mark experience. The flake
gets experience
when he's not doing.
I guess that was a setup between.
That's awesome.
Characters.
And yeah, because we stay in the fiction, we don't do it just from experience points. No, we would never do that. It's a very strong hint, I would say, that your characters are in a mentor-advisee relationship, right? Because you want to have as many opportunities to advise Stephen as you can.
Okay,
yeah, and then you have a haven.
Okay.
And a safe place to work. And 3 of the options then apply. And then we can imagine how that looks in the fiction. Like, what is that?
Okay.
Like, for example, if it's 3 times library, it's a library. If you have like panic room, it's more like a bunker, possibly.
Yeah.
Again, like I would say the mechanical benefits are not that relevant because
no, it's more story important.
It's my duty then to take care that they make sense, that they play a role.
Okay.
I get my dice already.
Ooh, and then we're gonna have to turn the lights on, which are gonna be weird because they're a little yellow. But I have some lamps. This right. I guess I like the dash space. Books. I can't use that. This is a lower library.
3 of them. Ah, magical. Mystical, yeah.
Well,
Right.
I did the.
Yeah, we have a pretty weird flake with weird +2, so maybe it's of some use there in the magical laboratory.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah, it could be that. So what you now have to do is you have these ratings. You choose one of these sets, and then you have sets applied to that, so you can see like an expert has to be sharp. It's just
So they're all the same.
Sharp and sharp. Like you have this move where you can replace sharp, where you have to roll cool.
Okay, so I can just
yeah.
really not completely.
Yeah, because every time you read about it,
cool is generally what does cool do for you though?
It means like acting under pressure. That kind.
Oh, okay,
Getting
understood.
through tense situations.
Okay, that would.
Staying cool.
Staying cool. Okay, I like staying cool. For this character, anyways.
Yeah. Like with that extra move, whenever you read about it before, you can roll sharp instead of.
Okay, and what does weird do?
Magic.
Magic. Okay, so.
Like using your magical laboratory.
Yes, I have magical laboratory and I don't have
Or you have an assistant, like he's like quite good enough. But you can also use it by yourself.
Okay, maybe timing or just negative timing.
Yeah, negative is like negative.
I guess none of this is charm. There's only one charming, but it's not weird.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Charming. I guess I'll do this one. Balance between.
Yeah. And then you can fill that in on the front page.
Okay, I see.
-1.
Okay.
-1. 0. Ooh, yeah.
Okay.
So we have 2 characters, and both are weird and both are sharp. But you shouldn't count on them when it comes to being charmful and tough, right? Tough is also.
Oh, I did get a -1 tough, huh?
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. Just.
This is easier.
You just and behind the stat it says for what kind of moves you need that. Also like
okay, so not so good at kicking ass. It's not good for monster hunters, I suppose. Okay.
Yeah, we're both in the same boat there.
So how Monster of the Week works is like when it's about investigating mystery. That means every session starts with that you're called like to investigate something, and then you gather clues and the story develops, and also the game master is like improvising as much as possible, and it's just starting with an idea, and then with the clues it could go into a different direction anyway.
Okay, cool.
Depending on how the rolls also go, and then the monster, the idea behind the monster is you can curve it, but it will always return until you find the way you can really hurt it, like its vulnerability. And then the second part of the story, after finding out about the monster and how to stop it from doing bad stuff, is then how to get rid of it. And for that, you need to go back to the library and then maybe construct a weapon, do a ritual.
Okay, so I didn't get a weapon looked up.
Yeah, but you have a magical laboratory.
Okay, there you go.
Well, yeah, those with a weapon, you can't have a monster.
Okay, oh, and I get gear.
Yeah, this is also just a checkbox, so you can keep it here. And yeah, and then we are already at relationship when we have here.
106. Yes.
Yeah. Having a black cat for a game with magic.
Yeah.
It's 10% better profit.
Okay. Oh, good, you got dice. That's what I forgot.
Yeah, you only need 2d6 and that's it. Okay, it's a good thing. So, have you already selected how you look like? Because there's one section.
Oh, yeah, to look. Okay.
What if you're a man, woman?
Okay, this is not something that I've thought about for a very, very, very long time. Let's see.
It's like PBTA games all come like from a progressive stream of game development, and so they take care that there's always something.
Yeah.
Something around. If you don't care, if you don't want to identify yourself.
I guess I can play someone like probably sort of stereotypical reclusive expert with whatever would be nondescript, I guess. Probably not too like mystical, probably just really, since it's in a Western city, right? Just nothing fashionable or anything, just like stuff. I don't know, random person you would meet.
Can you select options there, or you don't have to? It's like if you want something completely different, then
I would say like sort of let's see. What is the right description? It's like focused on thinking about whatever it is that is important and maybe not noticing so much what is going on elsewise except for what I'm focused on. I don't know if that's so much appearance as like mannerism.
Yeah. So it's casual clothes or
casual clothes. And none of those. I guess thoughtful of others is the most thing. And then I guess I'm going to be a woman because that is what I'm more comfortable with at this point. But indeterminate. Yeah.
You have a name?
I don't have a name. Let's see. It's an expert.
David, I think you had a look already at the history options, right?
Yes.
Yeah, cool. If you want to take another minute, then we can also postpone the name.
Yeah, let's I'm seeing that it's getting dark in here, so I'm going to turn the lights on. And while maybe you can tell us something in the meantime.
Otherwise, it becomes very mysterious here.
Very mysterious.
It's really getting dark.
It might anyways, because not great lighting in this house.
One rule thing for one shot, which I find more appropriate, is to have only 2 points of luck. Or only 1 point. I would even opt for 1 point. But if players insist, I would also say 2 points is also okay. Do you know how the luck mechanic works, David?
Just what it says on the sheet, where you can mark a luck to change a roll to a 12, or to avoid all harm from an injury.
Yeah, and exactly. And when you run out of luck, your character is doomed and will not survive the session.
Okay.
Like then the GM does their final strike on you. But whatever doom means, like you also disappear in a portal or whatever. Like, and
so what I'm going to do is just mark off everything except for 2 boxes.
Yeah, of 2 or what? Like I'm not personally as a player, I'm not at all even a fan of luck because well, failure is interesting, and switching a result which could turn into something interesting to a 12 is not always like so cool. But sometimes there are opportunities where you think like now it would be nice to have a luck point. So 1 luck point or 2 luck points are, I think, like for a 2-hour actual playtime session, just the right amount. Otherwise, you're also tempted the whole time, and like having a character doomed at the end of the session is also nice. So yes. I don't know. What would you say? 1 or 2 points?
I would lean toward 2 because that gives us 1 without the consequence, right?
Yeah, yeah. We can,
but then if we're willing to have our character be doomed, then we can.
Yeah. Like generally, I find like the idea of having a finite resource across several sessions quite interesting. So it's so different from hit points or fate points or something, which like go up and down and whatever. Like this finite resource which only goes down. It's charming to some degree, but like for one shots, it doesn't really apply.
Right.
Oh, somebody's calling. Jeanette and Bob. Yeah, I'm curious about your character, but I don't want to talk too much about it without Violetta around.
Okay, I'm here.
But you don't worry, like, take your time. So, the experts has also a history. Mm-hmm. -1 time, yeah.
Okay.
All right. You want to check? Or?
Okay.
So last thing, like when you had you chose your gear already. Ah, cool.
Yeah, I missed that one. Blessed knife instead.
Blessed knife.
Instead of the magical dagger.
Ah. Yeah,
seems like more of a arcane artifact.
Our expert has a blessed knife, a holy knife.
Nice.
That should be useful. And a juju bag. Oh, so good, yes. And the third
I went for this cold iron sword because it seemed like I did.
Yes. Well, you might not be tough, but you're trained to use a sword, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Well, that's the nice thing about these playbooks. There's many informative options that you can simply cross out something and immediately you know something.
It's very much quicker way of doing it.
Yeah, the background story stuff. Last thing is you choose one of these bullet points from history, which connects you to the other character.
Okay, cool. But he's already picked one, right?
So you can discuss that together. What you think would work well.
Okay. So these is the same list of.
It's totally different.
Okay.
Which one of us goes first?
Okay.
Yeah, David, maybe you make a suggestion first.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's choose randomly.
Choose randomly? Okay, that's...
I'll roll a die. Evens, I go first. Odds, Violetta goes first. And it's a 4, so it's me first.
Okay. Yeah, it's a flake approach.
Great. So what are you an expert of? What's your main sort of area of expertise?
Okay, so generally it can be just about anything, but so we're already in the business of slaying okay. Okay, I'm an expert in it. So explain to me the situation we're in. We're in a West Coast city, which is like a bigger one or a smaller one. I mean, a lot of so-called cities in the West Coast are like suburbia.
Yeah.
So,
David, what would you prefer?
Big city or small?
I would go big just because
I think so too.
I went to school in small city, California, West Coast, and yeah, big seems better to me.
Big, yeah. All right.
So, but generally speaking, everyone else around us is not in the habit of having anything to do with monsters or knowing or even being too clued into them. Okay, so I guess I'm going to go close to home in the way that this character sort of intersects my experience in California, which is being at school, being in an academic setting. So I would say that maybe I would be an expert in like local like okay, explain to me first before I decide. The monsters that are around that we are hunting, what is it? Is it just something that they've always been around, or there are different kinds of ones that are, it's like a new phenomenon, or is it?
You decide.
Okay, yeah.
Well, you have a juju bag, you have a holy dagger.
Okay, so what I would say is that I would be a sort of on the academic side of the thing and have some expertise in, say, like Western monsters, but yeah, perhaps not as much actual experience, rather more, well, I mean, part of the, it seems to me like this character sort of like is an expert, but perhaps doesn't have that much experience, but has a lot of like lore knowledge,
okay.
Or has an academic, shall we say.
In that case, the way we know each other is through cryptozoology and conspiracy theory websites.
Yeah.
Okay.
We inhabit some of the same dark corners of the internet.
Okay.
Internet friends.
Where I've been going to do my research.
What's the name of your favorite website? www.
www. OpenYourEyesSheeple.com.
Open your eyes.
Oh. Open your eyes.
What was this? The second part?
Sheeple.
I didn't hear that.
Open your eyes and?
Companies between sheep and people. So it's OpenYourEyesSheeple.com.
Sheeple. Okay, sheeple. Okay, that sounds.
What is
sheeple? As in like people who are sheep.
Ah, yes, I understand.
Which
workplace
perhaps
I'm so bad at.
Which yeah.
Open your eyes, sheeple.com.
Where I've been going to just like follow down threads of certain Western monsters that I've trying to make a treatise about, but you know, I would have probably not been there had I not been looking for that information.
I was thinking, because you're an expert, are you like, have you like an institute of paranormal, of the history of paranormal or whatever? Like, is there something where you also have like a company identity, like for tax reasons?
I would say that perhaps not. Perhaps I'm like a university employee, and I have a different life, which is sort of more, you know, not out there. But I've been making this research on my own and trying to figure out how to make it into like a definitive thing that I could actually.
That makes sense. Yeah. You don't want to that people call you crazy, sure.
Yeah, because I'm trying to be a serious person.
What's your university faculty then?
My university faculty, as in which okay, let's see. I'm in let me see. Maybe I'm in physical anthropology.
Okay,
evolutionary, and like what do you call it? Yeah, so primates, but also like other, maybe like animal behavior. Does that work?
Yeah. Anthropology and animal behavior.
So
that can go horribly wrong.
I start out in the hard science, but then I start going into like into the lore, which is a lot of traditional lore, and so yeah.
All right.
Book learning. Okay, I was making tea.
Okay, cool. David, you're not at the camera, but you can hear us.
Yes, I can.
Cool. Because maybe you can already tell us what you make for a living, or like maybe even how old you are, or.
What do I do for a living? It's a good question. I'm a clerk at a used bookstore.
A bookstore. He has a bookstore.
A used bookstore, yes. I have a tiny little apartment, possibly even above the store, that sort of eats up most of my measly income. And I'm really sort of just eking by.
So you run a bookstore, and
I don't run it.
You work at it. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And I mean, I can imagine that there's a lot of also like secondhand and antiquities.
Yes.
Yeah. That kind of bookstore, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
We can run into each other through that.
Oh yes, yeah. Rare books, which, yeah.
Yeah.
Thoughts.
I've probably got a little collection in the back room of books that I've stashed away for my own reference, and
yeah. And you live above the bookstore, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, understood that. Nice. Okay, so I have a look at the character. Do you know now what kind of gear you want to have?
Oh, my gear? Yes. I decided to go with a hunting rifle because that seems sort of the most nutty of the options, as well as a garrote.
What is a garrote?
A garrote is a piece of wire with two handles on either end that you use to strangle people with.
Wow, yeah. Now I understand why it makes as much damage as a shotgun. It's terrible.
Yes.
But you can pick even two, right, from the hidden weapons.
Oh, I picked two. Okay, I missed that. Then I will also take a folding knife, butterfly knife.
Are you able to use it properly, the butterfly knife, or?
I have some scars on my hands.
Okay, so now you can use it.
I've been practicing. I'm not quite as good as what you might see in the films, but I can at least usually avoid stabbing myself while I use it.
Cardamom, like no caffeine from you. Yeah, no. All right. So from the expert, the gear is also like very helpful. I know, but more importantly for the expert, it's the haven. Like, so I guess your library is your personal access to the university library, and also all like the books which are in there, which hardly anybody else knows about. Right?
Okay, yeah.
Can imagine that. But where's the magical laboratory?
Maybe I have it just like in the laundry room in my apartment.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. So yeah, there's a washing machine, a dryer, and a magical lamp. Yeah.
I just happen to have a good enough space.
All right.
What is the expert's name?
Oh, okay. Let's see. I'm gonna go with. I don't have any like. I think that I will go with how about Ethel Bienveniste?
Oh, nice.
Cool.
I like the last name. So.
Yes. I need to see that. Bienveniste. All right, and Stephen Groot, yes. So, and the oubliette, how can I imagine the oubliette?
Okay, so but I don't actually know. It basically it's like the oubliette is a room.
Sorry, did you say you have an oubliette?
That's what I picked. I forgot that it was a room. I thought it was just a stash thing.
Oh, sorry, it can be, yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's just like a little thing in the wall that that I can stash, and I suppose it would be useful for it to be at least 2 people.
All right, it's like a wardrobe.
Like yeah, but like under the stairs or like somewhere like that, you know.
And what kind of magic protects it? Like from which tradition? Are there runes or a certain metal, or how is it? How did you construct it?
Maybe I found an what do you call it? I found a artifact like at the flea market or something.
Ah, yes.
Or at in some little shop where I was digging around and happened to find something.
And what is it?
Well, let's see, what would make something that I would recognize. Obviously, maybe it's like a little hanging, like one of those glass, Turkish glass anti-evil eye things that I found, but that I recognize as somehow as working more than your typical special color glass or something.
So if you're an anthropologist, do you do a lot of sort of traveling around the world for your research type thing, or?
Well, let's see. If I mentioned physical anthropology because it seemed like it was, but I think I went more towards animal behavioral, and then started going into the traditional lore. So maybe I haven't traveled a lot recently because I'm just, working and everything, but that maybe I have in the past been traveling, but perhaps not quite as much once I got into the more monsters of the West thing.
Yeah.
So maybe before, when I was making the transition of like going around and studying the behavior of certain animals and getting into the lore of it, and then discovering, having to work as a university professor and not making very much money, I can't afford to go that many places.
Cool.
Sure. Good that we have the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and good websites like openyoureyessheeple.com. Yeah. Yeah, like where you also like find like people who are willing to leave the path.
Okay, and so maybe part of my thing was to study the people who are doing that. Like that's part of my okay, this is how I'm connecting the dots is starting to being interested in these traditional monsters of the West, but also starting to, pay attention to the people who are checking it out, like the people on that website.
Yes. And so last step is you need to select one option of history between Ethel and Stephen.
Okay, but his and mine are two different options, right?
Yeah,
we sort of said, on this website.
Yeah.
And then
well, you would have a look like what suits to that piece of truth. Like there's one fact is established. Is there one which fits?
I sort of like getting them in trouble.
What does it mean?
They came out to you for advice, and your advice got them out of trouble. Oh, no, that is getting you out of trouble as opposed to getting you into trouble. Ask them what the trouble was. Let's see. Okay, maybe this one because he works at the bookstore. And maybe I was looking for something with a laboratory. And he happened to
just
have like a book or something.
Read it.
They once helped you get a singular item that is now part of your haven. Tell them what it was. I guess I was looking for some arcane treatise on Western monsters.
Yeah, tell them what it was. You got David. You heard that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I was looking for a certain classic tome that perhaps doesn't have a lot of information, but it was a missing link that I was looking for.
Which was?
A book about someone's dissertation on beasts of the West Coast.
Oh, yeah. Like from pre-colonial times.
Well, just someone who, like a interdisciplinary tome, someone else who was an expert, I guess, wrote a book. And maybe it's not a huge book, maybe it's just one piece, but that would be something I would be looking for at your bookstore.
Yeah.
And happen to hear about the fact that you might have a copy of it because we were talking on the website about I was looking for that thing.
Beasts of the West Coast. Maybe, David, you know what exact information was so relevant? for Professor Bienvenisto?
The specific piece of information that Ethel was looking for had to do with let's see. It had to do with animals that could turn into other animals.
Perfect.
Animals which control or
Can turn into other animals. Animals that, yeah, it's shape-shifting animals that turn to something else. Okay, that's a good one.
Yeah,
like as werewolves are between human and wolf, there could be like other like animals with shape.
Yeah, like, you know, certain serpents that turn into birds or whatever, you know.
Okay. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I mean, that's is a very special information you don't usually get like in a university library necessarily.
Yeah, that's why it was an arcane tome that was really impossible to find.
Yeah.
That's why I had to really start trolling around.
Cool. Yeah. Do we have a name for the bookstore?
Let's call it Buy the Book.
Buy the book.
Book.
Buy a book.
Buy the book.
Buy the book. Ah, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, the word play the word. Buy the book. Yeah. So if you can't find it at the university, then you find it at Buy a Book. Buy the book. Yeah. Buy the book. Good. All right. I'm happy about character creation. Are you, or do you want to add something? Or
I think
it's something
good for now.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
is it Professor Bienvenisto or is it like private?
I would say it's the lower range of professor, like associate
professor.
But I guess you would call me professor.
All right. Cool. Now we could do like a 2 minutes break, also called the bio break.
The bio break. Oh yes. Go and do important things.
Yeah, I don't have to, but if anybody has to, and
no,
it's
what I can do is I'm gonna slice a pitaya because he can't eat it with us, but he can look at it at least.
You can look at it. Oh, the tea is nice. That's something I learned from the Gauntlet, that breaks are really cool, and I was always so bad at doing breaks in real life and online.
Mm-hmm. I struggle with that too. I'm trying to get better at it. I'm trying to sort of set myself a timer to sort of break halfway through and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm getting there.
But like, it's so easy to get excited about it.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Here's your visual.
Oh yes.
Of the fruit. You've had those before. They're like just started to be in season, and anyways, we didn't have a very good season last year, so we didn't get very many.
Sometimes you can find pie here, but they don't taste anything like.
Oh, probably not. Because they've been shipped. Do you get the pink ones though? Like
there's the pink ones and the white ones. Yeah.
Just the white ones are the ones that are generally out there.
Yeah. No, I've seen both.
Yeah. Anyway.
Although I have to say that this the dragon fruit is one of those fruits where the color is not matching the taste, because it's so extreme, the taste. It cannot be as pink in terms of taste as it looks like.
Yeah.
Like mango is about like perfect. Like you have like this strong.
You have to get a really ripe one. You haven't had. The trick with these is you get one that is super ripe, and hopefully it's really big and it's been ripening in the sun. If it's so warm from the sun, then you get that sort of intenseness. There's some sour ones too, but anyways.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah.
I mean, some of this is a little watery. The other ones, I like the white ones. They're the small ones. Did you ever have them when you were here?
Small ones, yeah.
The pitainas, they're sort of more like a kiwi almost. They're sour and they're gray, and they're really good. They're like one of my favorite. And I actually tried another kind that is across the lake. I went on the zip line, and there was this thing that I'd never seen before, and it's more like a peach almost. Anyways.
Cool.
Okay.
Let's on this side. Yeah, we have some food, which is good. Yes. One thing which is interesting to mention especially when you're new to PBTA, is that there is something called an agenda, which is like a play advice, and there's usually always one for the game master. But this game also has one for the players, and the players are addressed as hunters.
Okay.
Yeah, monster hunters. And the game calls me the keeper.
Okay. Okay.
Monsters or dungeon or whatever. And the hunter agenda reads as follows: act like you are the hero in this story, because you are. Make your own destiny.
Okay.
Find the damn monster and stop them.
Okay.
But very importantly, play your hunter like they are a real person. And yeah, especially the last point is something also like fictional writers often forget about when they get too excited about the story. Then yeah, they push around the protagonist's agenda too much. I think that's the easiest spot for me to see if something is bad literature.
Okay, yeah, right. It doesn't feel natural, yeah.
Yeah, it's like
you don't sort of feel the motivation.
Yeah. It changes just because somebody wants to have the scene in a certain way. So yeah, it's always like a balance, and a good story is taking care of that at the beginning. Yeah. And the GM agenda I don't have in front of me right now because I didn't bring my adapter, my Euro adapter, so I don't have too much battery in that one. But it's not that important. It's I shall push the mystery, I'm pretty sure, and make the monsters real, but also like all the other people around it, and give you the chance to shine. So looking through the character, I would say, like, if there's an oubliette in play and you chose that, it would be good if it makes also sense to have it in the story.
Yeah.
In a one-shot, that's quite a challenging thing to bring like everything up. So it might happen that the oubliette especially is not so relevant because like it means like to build up and like to hide something there. The monster's looking for that.
It might not be important, but
it could. No. Yeah, let's see. Yeah. And but especially like the moves, and if you are both about like giving each other advice, or mainly Stephen getting advice from Eva. Her name, right?
Ethel.
Ethel. Yeah.
Ethel.
Ethel and Stephen. That should also happen. The game has something called harm, but we can handle that if it's the case. It's like hit points. Hit points you can use. And there's something called luck. Like when you roll, and you can use one of the 2 luck points you have. They're not more. And change the result to 12. Okay. Natural 12.
So if you roll really badly, and you need to use. Okay.
But if you have,
did we decide on 1 luck point or 2?
2 luck.
Okay.
Yeah, you made a good point by saying that everybody should have a chance to give it a try to use the luck points. And when you use both luck points, then your character is doomed. and I can kill them at the next opportunity.
So why would you use your last luck point? You wouldn't,
unless you, well, it's a one-shot. We won't play these characters again, and it could perfectly fit into the story.
Okay, cool.
Maybe you can rescue the other one, or the town, or the universe.
I guess so. That's the point.
Yeah. Indeed, yeah. But like officially you have 7 luck points for a whole campaign, like when you play like 6-7 sessions.
Okay, yeah, because this can last quite long.
Yeah,
okay.
But for a whole session tonight, we won't even roll 7 times because it's not a roll-intensive game.
Okay.
All right, are you ready to start then?
Yeah.
I would say. Let's go into the adventure. Perfect. Another episode of Monster of the Week. And with our 2 protagonists, Evel and Stephen. Professor Bienvenister and Mr. Groot from Buy the Book, the bookstore. And we know each other from www.openyoureyessheeple.com. And have become good friends because there's no better supply than somebody who is an expert in arcane stuff from at Buy the Book, and is a perfect addition to what a university library can offer in terms of animal behavior, especially about animals which can turn into other animals. Like in the famous book Beasts of the West Coast, where only 2 last books are available worldwide, as long as you know, at least.
I presume that if I got that book from him, I probably had to pay quite a bit of my lowly wage, but it was worth it.
Yeah, so there are 2 entrance points, I would say, for the mystery for you. There's for sure the bookstore, and Stephen might have a chance to get some information there. Then there's also the internet. And I would say, Stephen, you had a lot of long combining these 2. I would say that you are in the bookstore and there's not so much to do at the moment. And online, you found a newspaper report, and you obviously link it as soon as you can to Open Your Eyes, Sheeple, which is about people reporting about monster rats from I don't know the English word, like where you have like a waste deposit, like where you
put, or dump, or
a dump.
Yeah, the garbage dump.
Okay. The garbage dump. There's
monster California monster rats at the dump.
at the dump. Yeah, and it's a really old dump, still in action, because like the unions took care that people still keep their jobs. And well, it was supposed to close last year, but then the new recycling factory couldn't open, and there was a huge scandal with politicians and corruption involved, and it's still not open, and so the dump is still running and overflooding, and there are problems, environmental problems, NGOs protesting against it, and so on, and now reports about monster rats. What's going on there? It could be something serious, isn't it, Stephen?
It could be that finally the global conspiracy involving Elon Musk is reaching a crescendo, and that the people he has mind controlled have managed to stop this recycling center from being built, specifically in order to cover up the fact that there are these monstrous rats in the dump.
Just as an aside, which is very relevant, is that once I took the bus in real life from San Francisco to Santa Rosa. It was a late night bus which is like a couple hours north of San Francisco. And I was, I end up at the bus station and I had to wait for my friends. And so the bus driver, one of the bus drivers came in and I had to wait a while. And so we started talking. And he was a former employee of the garbage dump in San Francisco. And he was actually involved in a bunch of whistleblowing about garbage dump politics similar to what you just described. So I like that whole connection there.
Nice.
Wonderful. Yeah.
Coincidence? I think not.
Yes. Who knows? Yeah. So your report is up online. Open your eyes, people. And yeah, but I guess you would also, this is especially possibly of interest of somebody who's an expert in animals. Right?
So like, are they like monster rats that are giant, or are they monster rats that behave monstrously, or?
Let's say we are in this thread now on this online forum, and this is your reply to your.
Yeah, it's like, oh, what's monstrous about these rats?
Yeah. There are a couple of other people in there who throw in some bullshit, like with a lot of exclamation marks, like with politicians and
they're
monster rats. Yeah, I once had a hamster and this kind of information. But you are the only two person talking seriously about the subject, I would say.
Okay.
So let's go into this chat mode and what would you add, Steve?
So I heard about this through a news item, right?
Yeah.
What else did it say? Like, what was monstrous about the rats?
It's a very short note only on the newspaper. The name of the journalist is noted down there, and he's from this small suburban village, which is close to the garbage dump, but not too close, fortunately for them. And it just says that there were big rats, and then one person was cited by saying, they are like from the horror movie style monster rats. What can you expect here? And it says there's one farmer who's living close by. His name is Mark Miller, and Mark Miller has one of the corpses at his farm. But there are no pictures and no further information. The journalist doesn't seem like in the mood for further investigation.
It seems strange that there'd be a body and no one was like talking about it all over the internet.
It's not strange. These things are covered up every day.
Yeah, that's pretty strange. I suppose I've heard about some lore of some rodents from some part of California that used to be happening.
Yeah, like that's for sure. Like monster rats, like creatures which are above the average, let's say. That's a very important research, right?
So larger than, isn't that
yeah,
rats of, what do you call it, size? That's from the Princess Bride.
Of unusual size.
Yes.
Unusual size.
Okay, rats.
So I wonder. I think if you want to investigate a mystery, you need to go a little bit closer.
Yes, absolutely.
But you have your law library, right? So if you want to check your library and do some research on the publications which are online, I think your library is offering an advantage for that, right?
I guess since I'm having this conversation about it, I'm like, okay, let me refresh myself as far as what I've read about that sort of thing. And especially in the region, because it's ringing some sort of bell that is intriguing me particularly. So,
I'm going to say that at some point soon we're going to want feet on the ground. We're going to want to see this with our own eyes and really tease apart. Basically, what we want to do is find what isn't being said. We want to find out what has been kept out of this news item.
Okay. Let's say that the dump is like near Santa Rosa, and it's just it's like an hour drive away, and say it's a place that isn't far away from somewhere that we go usually, like, you know, that I go. So maybe I could say, hey, maybe we can go and check it out. Take a drive and buy some.
Can you take the afternoon off, Stephen?
Well, the store is kind of quiet. There's only a couple people here. I can close down.
Yeah. All right.
Your boss won't find out.
But just as you said, because I know the play is somebody who can, who has a suspicious mind. You have a move there, which says if someone lies to you, you know it. And just as you described, looking at the article, like what is the journalist not saying? Like what do they purposefully not mention?
Right.
And like the way it is written, it's just a few lines, and still, after you read it, you know the journalist hates the farmer for something. They must have a relationship there. Like the journalist hates the farmer, and you would say what the farmer described must have been more dangerous than how the journalist presented it, maybe to bring the farmer into danger.
So what you're saying is that the journalist is actually in the pocket of big news and is keeping stuff from the public.
So is he discussing his suspicion with me, or is this just his internal?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Maybe you ask for advice on that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, good idea. So
otherwise, get on the road.
Well, I guess we have a couple of options. We can either spend a bit more time researching this phenomenon and these giant rats, or we can head out to meet with that farmer and find out the truth of this. What would you suggest we do?
I think my expertise type person would be like totally need to like look at the information first. Like I need time to like, maybe you want to go immediately, but I'm like, wait a minute, we need to check some things out first.
Well, I'm asking your opinion. I'm asking what is your honest advice?
You can go without or wait for you.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess if he's eager to go and I'm too curious to not find out. So maybe I'll, even though I want to like look some things up first, I'm maybe not really reading too much into it. I'm not expecting anything major. So I'm like, okay, let's go. I know a good sandwich shop along the way, and we can go hit it, and then, you know, maybe get back so that I can get back to something else I have to turn in tomorrow or something.
So your advice to him is?
Okay, so he's asking my advice is to, I guess, and I'm reacting instead of giving advice. I said, I would like to go with you and check it out with you. So why don't you wait and we can go tomorrow, and I have most of the day tomorrow to go check that out, and we can take my car, because I presume if you work at the bookstore and you have shabby clothes and are in the Bay Area, you probably don't have a car.
No, I don't have
a car. So I would say that means wait for me and we go together tomorrow.
Yeah, and we can go to the car instead of you like being in the bus for a while.
That means we have for the first time the situation that your both moves trigger.
Okay.
I think so. Would you say so? Your move trigger?
You know what? I think this. If we wait till tomorrow, this lead is going to be cold. Maybe you're not able to come with me, but I'm definitely going today.
Yeah, all right. Because the flake, when the flake seeks out and receives someone's honest advice on the best course of action for you and then does something else instead, they get an experience point.
But is he telling me that he's not going to follow my advice, or is he just going to do whatever he?
Yeah, no, I'm cards on the table. I tell you explicitly, like, well, yeah, I appreciate your
advice,
your caution there, but this really is too important to hesitate, and it's too time sensitive.
Okay.
I mean, who knows? In another 12 hours, who knows what else they could cover up, right?
Indeed, yeah.
Okay.
So he goes immediately, and you have the chance to still join him and skip your research. Or let him go alone.
Okay, I guess I can duck out of like the faculty social that I was supposed to go to later on today and just like make excuses because I realized that the rodent thread of the research is too interesting. And
all right.
And I switch around some things.
So Stephen gets an experience point. And if Stephen had listened to your advice, because you are often right, you would have get an experience point. So whatever you do, somebody gets an experience point.
Yeah, though it sounds like he's more likely to get an experience point in this situation.
But sometimes not listening to your advice could be very, very bad.
And sometimes you can try to give me the advice that you think I'm going to follow anyway.
Okay, like, right.
Yeah. Indeed, yeah. Yeah, I think that's a really nice combination. And but finally you go together. You get a good, nice little sandwich on your way, and you go to where did you want to go? Journalist, farmer, or garbage? What's the name? Garbage dump.
At the garbage dump.
Where do you think we should go first?
Where did you say?
Where do you think we should go first?
There we go.
Let's see. I guess that am I privy to your suspicions about the journalist?
Yeah, I've said everything.
Yeah, you've said everything. Okay, and I understand that you think, am I inclined to believe that all the conspiraciness that he puts around? Yeah. Okay, so I'm taking your advice, or I'm okay. We can either talk to the farmer or we can go to the dump. I think that seeing the natural, observe the situation might be appealing. Just go check out the dump. But you probably want to see the dead rat.
I was thinking that, yeah. But it might also make sense to sort of follow the story from its source, and go to the dump first, yeah.
But you think that this guy's up to something? What if he's trying to hide things? Then wouldn't he be alerted badly by people trying to check it out? Or why would he write an article unless he was trying to get people to check it out?
This is true. This is true. So I'm confused. What is your advice?
Oh, advice.
Should we go to the dump or to the farmer?
I think that we should go to the dump, because if you don't know what this journalist is doing, then you don't know who this farmer guy is. Maybe we'll find someone else who's seen the so the farmer was quoted, right, in the article? Yeah. The farmer was quoted, there's something from the hellmouth. Okay, that's a pretty major quote. I would say we should be prudent. We sort of try to find a third party who we don't know might be involved in the story. I mean, if you're correct in that this journalist is up to something.
Oh, you're thinking maybe the farmer is part of it too.
Well, we don't know what the dynamic is with the farmer. I mean, maybe the journalist is pissed at wants people to look for this farmer. Because why else would you quote a farmer and talk about how? I mean, now that you're talking about suspicion, now what I suspect, I'm wondering if you're covering things up, why would you write an article about it to attract people to check it out?
And at that moment, while you're discussing on the road, there's suddenly, and completely out of nothing, a tree is collapsing and falling on the road and will smash your car with two of you in there.
Shit.
Whoa. Whoa, that came out of nothing. But that's an act under pressure, like from the driver, that is you.
Okay.
That is because, like, is it time to speed up or to push the brakes? And do you make the right decision? And well, you can't ask Stephen for advice.
No.
So when you act under pressure, roll plus cool. You have a move which says that I've read about it.
Mm-hmm.
If you read about it, trees falling. You could replace cool, where you have a -1, I think, with your sharp. I wonder if that can be justified. You are a cool person. Okay, yeah. I would say there's no chance that you could have read about it,
right? Except for can't you read like in the driving training manual about how far away things are when you should brake and everything?
Absolutely, yes.
You're like the only person around who's actually read the driver's manual, right?
Yes.
Well, like I haven't actually managed to get my license. I studied that a couple times.
All right, yeah, because then, well, you know that it's the square root of velocity. Plus I have summer wheels on still, the road is dirty, and so that should work. Roll the dice.
Okay. God,
so you have a 6, which would be a miss and really bad, but you have in sharp, because you have read about it, you can use your sharp.
Okay.
And in sharp you have a +2.
Okay, well, I guess I need to use the sharp.
So you have an 8. And 8 is a partial success.
Oh, boy.
And for act under pressure, it reads, the keeper is going to give you a worse outcome, hard choice, or price to pay. So do you either want to risk that the two of you get hurt? Or do you want to risk that the car is broken?
I guess I'm gonna go for the car is fine, because even though we're gonna have to take the bus back, obviously I'm too responsible and to hurt anyone.
So the tree crashes into your car.
Shit.
Steam going up.
How are we gonna get to the dump now?
Well, now you have to make still the decision where to go. But well, you also have some business with the police and like getting the car from the road.
And then I gotta get the car to somewhere where it can be taken away to be serviced, and I have to call my insurance and all that stuff, right?
But what the hell happened to that tree?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. I'm going to go over to the tree and examine sort of where it broke. Because
we're waiting for them. We've called AAA and we're waiting for AAA, and so
maybe you call AAA.
Check out the tree.
You do the calls.
Well, I do it, but okay. You've already checked it out. So once I'm done with that and we're waiting for them to come, I join you.
Yeah. So Stephen, you might roll and investigate a mystery, because this seems to be a mystery.
Okay. So So I'm rolling with sharp. Ah! So that's a total of 4.
Snake eyes. Investigate mystery. Investigate a mystery. Usually, when you succeed, you get 2 or 1 of these questions, and they really push forward the story.
So I think instead, I'm going to since I've failed,
yeah,
I'm going to decide that what's happened is whatever I suspect has happened, and I've decided that the journalist, knowing that someone would come and investigate and potentially uncover the stuff that they were trying to hide, sabotage this tree and set up a booby trap.
Well, you definitely see also animal traces, like they have also hurt that tree badly, but somebody had to make these animals doing that, right?
That's what he suspects, right?
Exactly, yeah. So
but,
this is right.
It's what I know, okay? It's what I know.
Yeah.
All the patterns make sense up here.
Okay, but I must, as a university professor, sort of expert type, must have a certain amount of skepticism about my friend Stephen Groot, who is, you know, pretty sharp on a lot of things and definitely knows a lot, but sometimes goes over the board on the conspiracy theories and stuff. So I maybe find the suggestion, his ideas about the journalist a little much for myself. But so I guess since I have, you know, no one's arrived yet, I'd like to also see what, you know, what other traces I might see around the thing, what kind of animal traces those might be.
I'm absolutely open that you could also roll on investigate a mystery. However, like when you miss a move, and Stephen was so nice to make quite a good suggestion about what that means. Usually that means that the GM is making a hard move, but it's totally fine for the players to come up with ideas. And a flake is like easy prey for that, I would say. There's one thing. There was a security camera from a nearby restaurant, and because it's a parking slot there next to the tree, and they're watching that. And Stephen, I'm sure they're still watching you. Like whoever is out there is still watching you through that camera. Like that shouldn't be the case, right? They shouldn't know where you are.
No.
Except for, is he okay? So he's starting to talk about this to me?
I don't know. I could imagine that he goes up there and destroys that camera. But I don't know.
So yes, it's I notice these things, right? I notice when there's cameras, when we're being watched by the man. And really, we're sort of on an investigation here. We don't want rogue journalists and weird farmers to have access to our every move. So you stay here. I'll be right back. I'm just going to go trash that camera.
And I'm like, wait, Stephen, how would they even know who we are? I mean, I look like
because
a college professor.
Facial recognition software is everywhere.
He probably gets another experience point because I just told him not to.
Yes. That was a.
But that was sort of in my character.
He would, but it's still a consequence from the failed roll, so that goes without the experience point. But yeah, but thanks for trying. Indeed, the experience camera is gone. However, the restaurant owner is not amused.
Shit. And now we're waiting for.
And getting out, and police is coming every moment, and and your mystery is running away. Like all the tray is getting cold. And what about
like? So now the cops are gonna come and arrest you. We're not gonna be able to check out the mystery. What should we do?
No.
Well,
here's what's going to happen. Here's what's going to happen. I'm talking to the restaurant owner. Like, look, here's what's going to happen.
You make that. You talk with him, right? Yeah.
Yes. You said that he came out and he's angry and right.
Yeah. Let's just roll the investigate a mystery move, because then you can think about the questions already.
Okay.
And well, that's also not such a good result.
No.
But it's a 5 plus sharp.
Okay.
It brings you up to a 7.
Okay.
That means you have one of these questions, and which you can ask. Well,
what I see on the round the what do you call it? Okay.
I will tell you honestly, but also like what your character could obviously observe. Hey, what are you doing here?
I'm doing you a favor.
What?
Did you notice the auxiliary wire coming out of your camera there? Your camera was being tapped, and the only reason that could possibly be true is if you are currently the victim of a government surveillance project. I did you a favor, okay? Now, here's what you're going to do. You are going to, if any cops arrive, if any government agents show up, you're going to say that it was some kid who threw a rock at your camera and ran off. You didn't see who they were. You won't be made an object of their suspicion. I'm trying to manipulate someone.
Well, and he's looking left and right. Like, well, I think I've read about this sort of stuff, but you were in this car, right? You must be traumatized.
What's traumatizing is the amount of control that the government and big pharma are exerting over our everyday lives.
Buddy? But now let's see what the dice say, because I assume you manipulated someone.
Yes. And
which is this here. And you showed him that it all fits together, right?
Say that again?
And you were showing him that it all fits together.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly. So this is the other flake move.
Okay.
Use sharp and charm.
Okay,
when you show them how it all fits together.
So I got a total of 7.
7.
A partial success.
Partial success for a normal person. They'll do it, but only if you do something for them right now to show that you mean it. Well, this is why he mentioned that you must be traumatized at the moment. He trusts you, but trust is a mutual thing. And so he wants to take care of you. Buddy, let me help you. You must... I think you also have a little bruise there. Come with me into the restaurant. I'll show you where the bathroom is, and I have like a med kit in there. Right? It will take a moment. But that's the kind of trust he wants, that you don't decline him.
Let me just make sure my friend knows where I am, and yeah, absolutely, I'll come with you. So I shout to Ethel, Ethel, I'm going into the restaurant
to get a Band-Aid.
Yes. Wait here, I guess. I'll be back soon.
Okay, I'm waiting for the AAA to deal with my car because I want to invest, and I'm curious to investigate and figure out more about what's going on while I'm trying to balance up, trying to figure out what I'm going to do about a dozen of different things, like getting back to work when I need to get back to work, and so yeah.
Have you chosen the question?
Okay, so I'm seeing the question, and I mean, if I'm following my character, I'm interested in what kind of creature it is, but obviously would be very, as someone who just got, you know, it does, he's identified the fact that it was a creature, and there's traces of creature.
Yes.
So I would say that it would not be like my character if I didn't want to figure out what kind of creature it was.
Yeah. So what sort of creature is it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I'd want to know what happened, but I think that my first instinct would be to check out, find out what kind of animal it was, because obviously that's my field of study. Traces of animals.
Well, you know a lot about like these animals which eat trees, yeah, like beavers and this stuff. I don't know so much about animals, honestly, so I have to improvise a little bit here, but none of them applies here. So
it's not like
thinking about the giant rats, it would perfectly fit. Like if rats were bigger, then they could produce something like that. You have seen it on cheese already. You have done experiments with rats. You know how rats eat stuff and make their way through walls.
Yeah, that's
but these
easy to guess too. Yeah,
be the monster rats, and if these are monster rats, then they can't be far away from here now, right now.
Oh my gosh, so I realized that he's just gone into the restaurant and I need to go tell him this because AAA might be coming, but rats might be in the restaurant, so.
Maybe. And maybe it's also that you are alone at the parking lot right now.
Oh, shit. Okay, well, I guess I'm going to look around. Oh no, rats! I hate rats because they...
Yeah, next moment you see like something in the shades, like moving there. Like it's the hill goes far up. It's a rocky region there, and so something is moving up there. Not at the parking lot yet.
It's not quite down where I am.
Would you go in and try to trace it before it escapes, or run into the restaurant in safety?
Let's see. Goodness, am I the reckless kind?
Can I next to you?
Can I? Let's see. There's a move, right? Where's my moves? Isn't there a move about? Oh no, these are the moves like how to do. Well, I wanted.
My name's Frank, by the way.
Steven.
Good to meet you. I've read so much about like what the government is doing here. It's like I also need to tell you it's like a story. Like it's strange. Like I have like we have a gas kitchen here because gas is great to cook with, and the gas smells.
Yeah, well, you don't want the electromagnetic interference from electrical wires messing with your brain. No, that's for sure.
Oh, starting again. It smells different. Shall I show you? It's like they put something in there like, to make us dumb.
Okay, so.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to think. I think that maybe I want to check it out. So maybe I'm not so afraid of the monster. I mean, I heard the hellmouth thing, but I'm like, okay, what is this rat? Maybe I'm too wrapped up into really think that this rat's just chewed this tree to come down on our car. So, but I think I want to go check out the.
Yes, sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Go check it out.
Maybe bag, right?
I have my juju bag and stuff, which is incidentally in. But maybe I'm interested in getting a picture of it.
Yeah. All right. So you climb up there, and Stephen, do you have any plans there? Like, would you like to investigate the smell of the gas in the kitchen further, or go outside again? It's soon as possible?
I'm definitely going to poke around a bit. Look around the kitchen. Poke around in the bathroom when he leaves me there, and I need to know about my surroundings, really.
All right. Yeah. So there's Frank is quite a good person to talk to, like, because he seems also being knowledgeable about many mysteries out there, things which just fit too well together. So it seems you found a friend.
Oh, I asked him if he's heard of openyoureyessheeple.com.
Sure. I mean, I'm registered for 2 years now, nearly.
Oh, that's good.
That's good. You know my nickname. It's like above the sky. Nobody knows. That's my nickname. And who are you there?
Oh, I'm wizened acrobat 37.
Well, you're like one of the star members.
Well, you know, I don't like to.
Good to meet you. Yeah. While you are up there, it's surprisingly dark there between all this. The forest is dense, and you need to make your way through there a little bit. But you also see traces. There are traces everywhere. Like they are active.
Yeah, so I can see traces of them.
Yes, and you're pretty sure that you can hunt them down. Like you have a trace, and just follow it, and you will have it. How do you prepare yourself if there could be an encounter with one of them?
Well, I would say if I start thinking of that, my pragmatic side might take over. And okay, well, there's definitely traces here, so maybe I need to go and get him, and hopefully the AAA shows up so I can send my car off. And if there's traces, I guess I can be confident, and perhaps I can keep on checking on them if I go down. Because have I lost? I can't see the actual the actual mouse yet.
Yeah. It's time to withdraw.
Yeah, it's a little dark, and so I'm gonna go get Steven and tell him, because obviously he'd be super interested in. I come to my senses.
Well, yeah, you have this strange sensation, like when you know somebody's in your next, and the moment you turn around, and yeah, maybe you're fast enough. Would you like to roll?
Yeah, I guess I need to.
Yeah, you need to roll.
See, I should have been smarter than this. I'm supposed to be the pragmatic.
So getting out there is like it's an act under pressure again. It means you roll on cool.
Oh, goodness.
If you haven't read about it.
Okay.
But I think, fortunately, you're a cool person, so
cool enough.
Cool enough to get through there. It's pretty good. It's a 9 plus your cool, which is
1, I think.
1. Makes it a 10. That's a full success.
Okay.
It means you get out there and you get a glimpse of one of the creatures. And you can make a step.
Okay.
While you're running down the hill.
Okay. Sounds good.
So you meet at the restaurant.
I run down. I'm like, hey, I have something to show you.
All right. Whoa.
Check out the selfie.
And so you have a look together at the thing, and that is another hint. And further talking with Frank could also provide you with some details about what is going on in this region. I mean, you're already pretty close to the dump. Where all this is happening. This is already part of the suburban village.
I haven't met Frank yet.
No.
So I don't know that he's such a great
Yeah, but
conspiracy theorist.
indeed, yeah.
Oh no, he's great. He's fantastic. Frank,
Yeah.
me.
Okay, did you ask him about the rats?
Shh. It's a restaurant. We don't talk about rats in restaurants.
Yeah. Well, Frank is taking you with you, and there's nobody else on the restaurant anyway at the moment. It's pretty empty, not running that well. But he's closing the restaurant officially for you because this is serious business, and it's shutting down even the windows so that nobody can look inside. And
Okay.
so you might miss when the police comes and the service,
And the AAA, yeah.
the AAA, and some. Well, there's something more serious going on here at the moment. And so you're sitting together, and I would say together with Frank, you could roll again on the investigative mystery, each of you, based on the new information you have.
Okay, well, we should ask him about it. My impetus from hearing, well, I guess even not knowing that he was interested in weird stuff anyways, I would say, so have you heard any stories about the giant rats at the dump here?
Ooh, and you have a picture, right?
Well, I don't know that he is someone I can trust with that yet.
Yeah.
So I'm just sort of probing as if I didn't know that he's already pretty interested.
Stephen can.
Yeah.
So, Stephen, would you roll investigate a mystery? Would you like?
Sure, for sure.
And maybe you as well.
That's a 7.
What'd you say?
A 7. That
7.
means one question.
One question.
And I would say your question is more related to information Frank can provide you with.
Yeah.
Well, you could base your analysis on the cell phone picture.
Okay. That's something.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Ethel only gets
a blurry
5.
Which means you mark experience.
Yes, every time you fail a roll, you get an experience point. And there's a list of checkboxes which you can cross somewhere here.
And, experience.
Yeah,
okay, so I guess I get it.
Yeah. So I think about what happens as a negative consequence on that, but let's first hear what Stephen has to say.
So
More
Frank presumably has heard about this this talk of giant rats at the dump. What I want to know is what can hurt them, and I think that Frank knows something about this farmer, Mark Miller, and knows how he managed to bag himself the corpse of one of the rats.
Stephen, you must know, Mark Miller, he's living up the hill there, just up the hill. It's like when you follow the road, it's quite a long ride, but there's a path going up. Now that you don't have a car anymore, I could accompany you if you like, going up there. But I have to say, like, Mark Miller is a strange person. You would like to meet him in the dark, right? He's like, he's very old, and he doesn't like other human beings, to be honest. Like, he's I could say he's an asshole. Like, he's nice. He's not nice. No. But I mean, it's like he has lost like he has like all his crops are like infected by this dump. Yeah, like he can't sell anything anymore because like it looks disgusting what he's producing there. And like, and well, we've talked like on last week on about the dump, and what he was saying was like that he thought that these rats are getting bigger and bigger, and there's some light in the night on the dump, and he's talking that stuff like for years now. I didn't give a shit about it, honestly. Like even like, it's like I can't imagine the government is involved in this dumbness. The gum has always been here. But talking about like this red thing, the way he catches the reds is quite strange. He's using a liquid.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
He's using sorry, whispering is not a good idea.
Yes.
He's using a liquid he is producing out of the vegetables he's growing in the fields close to the dump.
Oh.
He has a liquid up there.
He's producing a liquid that's...
And the animals are after it. And though that is how he catches them.
Oh.
This liquid.
Oh, so they're eating. Huh. I think we need to go check out his farm, his fields.
Possible, yeah.
Okay.
So.
But I've also told him about the fact that I saw the traces up the hill. But does that mean that that's where his farm is? Is up that trail? Is that?
Yeah. You didn't follow the trail because you didn't know about the trail. You just climbed up the hill
okay, so
into the forest.
I didn't see any trail. Yeah,
Yes.
But I went. So, but it's up in that direction.
It's up in that direction.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, I found traces of the animals going up that way, and I figured I should come back to get you.
About
that's next.
Yeah. About the missed roll. There's something disturbing in the picture, in the selfie we took, and you only see it now because you were looking at this scary, gloomy green eyes of this creature behind you. Like in daylight, you could see the green that it's glowing, and so you didn't recognize that there's something else on you. There was another animal, like an insect-like animal, as well with green eyes. And now, looking at the picture, you see it was sitting in your hair and about to bite you. And when you look at your head, you have an insect bite there on your head.
Oh no!
And as it always happens, at that moment, the strong headache is hitting you. And who knows what else?
Uh-oh, bug, insect, I got bit by some horrible dove fly.
You got bit?
Yes.
Are you?
And I'm starting to get a terrible headache.
That's not good.
No, that's not good. Oh.
Need some painkillers. Right, this.
What is this bug? I guess I want painkillers, but what are you giving me?
Strong stuff you get. I take them all the time. If I burn myself, I don't feel it. It's quite helpful as a cook.
Is he lying?
Is he lying?
Well, it's not just painkillers. It's strong psychopharmacy. So it's it's obvious to you
that it's some drug, and I'm like, does this incapacitate yourself? Am I going to be able to continue? Because we want to keep on looking up this dumb thing while we keep
this is something mixed in your bathtub, right?
He didn't mix it in his bathtub, is what he asked. It's not something he mixed in his bathtub, was it?
I think like it's the stuff which is legal, but not in all countries in the world for good reason.
Okay. Does he tell me this?
Is that an advice by Stephen not to take this stuff?
Well, the way I figure it, this is not the sort of thing that's produced by Big Pharma.
Yeah.
And so it's probably okay. So I'd say go for it.
Okay, so do I have to do some sort of judgment roll? Because like all the reasonable things would say, okay, I'm just going to take a headache pill, right?
Yeah.
But if I were, how bad is the headache?
I would say you can exchange headache with hallucinations. So the headache would keep you from acting properly in some situations, hallucinations possibly in others. So it's up to you what you would like to have.
I'm sort of trying to play according to logic of a character, not necessarily knowing the outcome, but more like,
Indeed,
is the headache going to cause me to not follow my reservations of taking some random pill, which I would assume is just some painkiller.
I think it's up to you.
I
think it's up to you, Lata.
Yeah.
Whether you believe, what you believe, and what you're excessively suspicious of, and so on.
I don't think if I were my real self, I wouldn't take any random thing at all. If I was a university professor who has a passing interest in Western, I might be from more of a pill-taking culture, so maybe I will go with trying out the pill because I think it's going to deal with my headache. And obviously, there's some important work to be done investigating this mystery and hopefully getting it all, getting a little light on the subject.
Yeah.
Now that we came all the way here and my car got.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the headaches go away. That's
I'll say, while he's handing it over to me, can I ask him, so which is the way to the farm?
Yeah, I can show you. I can accompany you.
Okay.
Let's go together. I make you some sandwich, or are you hungry?
We ate recently. I
we
think
will be sad. The only customers he had today, he's a fan of you on the internet.
It's like, okay, let's take some to go. Who knows how long we're going to be out.
All right, I have some chicken teriyaki here. And
okay, cool.
Put into a sandwich. So Subway style,
Okay.
With this strange smelling gas.
Strange smelling gas. So if I were Steven, I would have asked him, why do you keep on cooking if you suspect the gas?
All right, So you were bitten by this insect. It came from a mist road. So I'm allowed to hit you hard on that.
Well, and that's right, because there's no. I mean, obviously, I'm a lapse of judgment because being bit by a weird monstrous fly.
Yes. So
we need to go ask this farmer about these creatures, and maybe there's some solution up there.
So you clarify the situation with your car. You're not such a bad person.
The AAA shows up, and we send off the car, and I have to deal with it, and then obviously. We'll have to figure out how to get to the bus afterwards.
I mean, you're quite relieved that this monster insect bite doesn't have any further bad effect. That the headache is away and it's all fine.
Yeah, but I'm probably in the off chance that something might bad happen. I obviously need to go talk to this farmer to figure out what might, if there's anything.
Yeah, it's so. Yeah. So you walk up this trail. To find the farmer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Stephen, anything you want to do in preparation before that, or are you fine? There's Wi-Fi. You can post on Open Your Eyes sheeples.
Yeah, I think I'll post a couple of quick updates on Open Your Eyes sheeple. Just sort of well, for one thing, I'm going to send a friend request to Frank.
Oh yes, yeah.
And yeah, post something about how the rats have shown some sort of signs of intelligence, given that they were trained by the journalist to topple that tree on us.
Yeah. The pressure amounts to press to further report about it. If this goes on, like there's pictures now, there's like additional information, the tree, it's all there. When you walk up the trail, the pills hit in, and the monster insect bite. And
both things at once. Oh God.
So, but I would still give you the choice if you wouldn't. Which one you let go, so to say. It's the combined effect of the two are something like a use magic roll, actually. But if you want to push it that away, then I could also imagine that you simply act under pressure and push the negative effects away, that you start to hallucinate.
Okay, so like the hallucination actually deals with the bug bite.
Yeah, but you can also go for use magic. Okay. And why do you have this weird skill of +2, right? If you
yeah, use it. Right. And I should have had I must have read it. Well,
if you use magic, then it's simply your plus weird. It's
yeah, which I've got the best of. Well, I've got sharp too, so I could do either or basically, right? Oh no, I have a +1 weird.
Yeah, but I've read about it only applies to act under pressure. So they
okay.
Push it away.
Okay, so so I either use magic or I guess I want to use magic, and what here is all weapons, right? Okay, so maybe I just to borrow the term, but not necessarily to connect it to acting under pressure. Perhaps I've read about a little charm to get rid of odd insect venom.
Ooh. Oh.
But perhaps my focus might be a little distracted by the psychotropic drugs.
Indeed, yeah.
Okay.
So what do you roll? Use magic? Or?
Yeah, I'm gonna use magic. I'm gonna try to do this little.
Ooh. Yeah. The poison out. Put some lemon on it. Ooh, but it's enough.
Okay.
5 plus. No, it's not.
Nope.
5 plus 1 is 6.
Unless I help.
Unless you help. There's a move called help.
Okay.
And if for some reason another hunter can help, you get another +1, which will push you to a 7, which is at least a partial success.
Okay, well that's probably better because.
Steven had an idea how he can help you out here.
So I'm gonna roll +cool.
And you need to roll +cool, yeah. But do you have an idea how to help you in this situation?
So what is it that you're trying to achieve with the magic?
I'm trying to dispel strange venom, insect venom.
Yeah, with deciding in favor of use magic, I would rather say that you try to synchronize your mind with the hallucination to something useful, which is magic.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Things which might be connected
to
the monsters.
Okay.
Or you're just still hallucinating.
We don't know.
We don't know yet.
Okay, but obviously the hallucinating mind makes me think that that's like something that might be possible, because obviously the hallucinating will take me out of my typical, more stodgy approach.
So you're trying to get in sync with the hallucinations?
Yeah.
Then yeah, I can help by sort of talking you through it.
Oh yes.
Okay, so now like we're on the trail, and I'm like, woo!
Yes. Frank and Steven hold you, and
I'm like, Frank, what the hell did you give me?
Monster bunnies running through the forest.
I'm like, this is the monster bunnies that are running by.
Oh.
No wonder you see so many monsters around here.
And so I'm telling you, like, yeah, but the monster bunnies are friendly, and they're here to help us out. And as long as you keep that in mind, everything will be cool.
I think I read something about bunny spirits being guides.
Yeah, totally.
Okay. So, I guess my little nerdy self is starting to be interested in the bunnies, obviously, and I want to be like, oh my god, that's about me. So what can I tell about the bunnies as far as related to what I know?
Let's see what Steven rolls.
An 8, which means that I do successfully help you, but I also expose myself to trouble or danger.
Oh yes, yeah.
Oh, shit.
Frank's pretty sure that the pills he has given to you are helping to see the bunny world. He's offering some of the pills to you as well, Steven.
Well,
you might either take the pills or the other option is to simply let her go, like whatever the direction is, off the trails.
Ethel?
Yeah?
Frank's offering me pills. Do you think I should take them?
That's a question for an honest advice.
Honest advice. Obviously, I'm convinced that the pills are something real, and I'm tuning into the bunny world. I'm like, yeah, Steven, you should totally take them. We need to check out this bunny stuff. Might be related to all this other creatures.
Well, if you say so.
Yeah. Then you get an experience point. Yeah. And the other good news for Steven is when he's acting on your answer, he gets a +1 on every roll related to the effects from the pills.
Okay.
Right, that's it says so, right? The open. Yeah, they
Often, right.
+1 ongoing.
Okay.
While following your advice.
Okay, that's good.
That's good, yeah.
So it's good to follow my advice.
So we have 2 drugged hunters.
And 1 drug-making conspiracy theorist fry cook.
Yes. On their way up the bunny trail with monster rats and monster insects. This is how you reach the farmhouse. But thanks to the hallucinations, again, you have the chance to investigate the mystery.
Okay.
Which is, again, because you're both on pills, both of you are allowed to roll and, to investigate this mystery.
So, but once we get to the top, what are the bunnies doing? Like, are they like just going through, or they're just all around us, or what's going on with the bunny?
There's something we missed exactly. So there's the use magic on 7 to 9. It works imperfectly. There's an effect, but also a glitch. Okay. So you can choose from the list of effects here.
Okay.
And there's observe another place or time. It's, I think, the only sensible option here.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, I mean, you could also like enchant the weapon.
You can try to talk to them.
Yeah, and the bar a place or portal to a specific person or type of creature.
bar a place or portal? You mean like, what does that mean, bar a place? Oh, it makes it so that we can't get through the portal.
Yeah, that thing can't get.
So these are the not necessarily good effects.
These are all good effects.
All good effects. Okay.
So maybe you want to track one of the creatures, which is out there. But also use that effect. There are bunnies, monster bunnies. There are monster rats in the forest and monster insects. You can't say which one, but if you choose to trap one, you trap one. You were bitten by one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Stephen is also on drugs. He's also hallucinating, and because he's connected to you,
he's also seeing the same.
He's seeing the same, but only you are on the monster side.
I know I'm only on the monster side.
Well, only you have the bite, the venom inside of your veins.
I would say that I'm super curious to learn more about the venom, obviously, because if I feel it in my system, then I probably would be inclined to try to talk to these bunnies because I'm sort of tripping.
So you choose to communicate with something that you do not share language with.
All right. So I'm like, hey, like what's going on with this insect bite?
Yeah. But no, you also have to choose the glitch. You choose the glitch and I then say what the effect is.
So this is the glitch of the magic that I did to try to get in sync with everything.
Okay. The venom, you could interpret it as the effect of the venom.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, it's always good to think about something interesting.
Yes. So I'm trying to get in sync with the venom, with this psychedelic thing. And obviously, I guess maybe this problematic side effect seems like a reasonable.
It sounds good, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's the problematic side effect is that you have impulses which are not your own.
And I can tell they're not my own. Like,
the side effect is what?
You have like animal impulses, like from the animals with which you communicate.
Okay, so I feel like I want to eat grass.
Yeah. Or run away from dogs.
Want vegetables. Okay, but there's no dogs this far, right? So all of a sudden I get a little rabbit.
Hopefully farmers don't have dogs around here.
Okay, but I also start thinking like, oh, farm and vegetables.
Vegetables, yes.
I'm hungry.
And so now let's investigate a mystery. You can use the venom. You can communicate with the animals, the infected or whatever animals are out there. But Stephen, you can also investigate the whole area up to the hill.
Mm-hmm.
Getting a little bit closer to our mystery, as it seems.
So I'm curious as to what the connection of these spirit bunnies are to this mystery.
Yes.
But I still haven't found out about my insect bite, which I must also be curious about. So
yeah. You could also use your questions on that.
Yeah. So it seems like
you have again the list of questions when you roll successfully.
Okay. And so. But
what did you roll, Stephen?
So I rolled 7.
So one question.
Mm-hmm. But wait. I've just had the question. Okay, so I communicate with these creatures, which makes me like them. But did I get any answer from them about?
Let's see what.
Okay, that's what I think that my question was to communicate.
Yeah. Great. 9 + 2 is 11. You have 2 questions.
Okay.
And you can ask directly the animals. That means the answer is much more helpful, possibly, than poor Stephen, who is just hallucinating. Possibly.
Okay.
I guess I got an 8 actually because I got that +1 forward.
Yes, true. Yeah, absolutely. And what is your question?
My question is, where did the rats go?
Yeah,
that is where did it go, right? Yeah.
That's right.
Um, yeah, that's perfect because
Yeah.
you
I asked the bunnies basically where they've where they saw the rats go.
yeah. Interestingly, they are not coming from the direction of the garbage dump directly, but it's somewhere here on the side of the hill, like where it's relatively steep, and you would need to leave the trail. But it's obvious that they all come from this one direction. There's something on this side, while the dump is behind the hill, on the other side of the hill. They are coming from one somewhere here to the right. This is definitely where they are coming from. So how will you use your questions? Two of them.
Okay, so I
and it's possible to follow them.
Okay, I'm going to ask the bunnies, like, what the hell is this venom doing? Which is, what can it do, right?
What can it do? Yeah.
Yeah, and then my additional question would be, what's going on with these rats? That allowable?
Oh, yeah, that sounds good. Yeah. What was it? The second was, what was it going to do?
Like, what is this venom doing?
Yeah.
Why?
It was the first one.
Yeah, that's the first question. It's like, what's going on with this insect venom?
Yeah.
And
it will turn you into a monster in 3 days.
Oh, yeah. That's great.
Wait, I didn't hear that.
What?
It will turn you into a monster in 3 days.
Oh.
Oh my God! Do I still?
And they tell you, like, you will be one of us.
I'll be a bunny.
Well, no, you won't be a bunny.
That would be so cool.
I'm like,
green
what?
glowing eyes.
So
there's nothing.
Like, okay, what is going on here? Is that like what's happened here? Because obviously that's the connection.
What
happened here?
What happened here before?
Well, like what's going on here? Why is there this insect that is? Why are there these giant rats and this insect that's going to turn me into a monster in 3 days? Like, obviously the crux of the issue is what's going on that this is happening.
Going on. Well, we have the secret source. We know where it all comes from. And we will be able to transform the whole world into what it is supposed to be. What we all are supposed to be. The transformation will be complete.
God, I have to find
a matter of time.
And what I really need to do is how to. There's no question as to how to avoid this, but I used up my 2 questions. So.
All right. Yeah, these are the 2 questions you had. Yeah. So up to Mark Miller still, or leave the trail and go to the source?
Oh. We need to figure out a way to counteract this. I don't think I want to be a monster in 3 days. So, Frank's still with us, right?
Yes.
Can we ask Frank, like, what should we do?
Yeah, Frank, what
should we go to
what
see
advice would you give us to
go to see the source that these bunnies just told me about?
Hey, maybe we should split up.
Definitely not. We have to stick together.
Oh, yes. Do you think so? I mean, I could go up to Mark Miller and tell him that you went into that direction and you make some marks at the trees, and then we can find you.
No, I think it's better.
Absolutely not. If we
Let's
split
go to the source, and then we can go to see Mark Miller. He
Yeah.
said he's an asshole. He might be a problem. And meanwhile, we have, like, this spirit bunny showing us the way.
That's right.
And obviously the psychedelic trippy drugs are probably making us feeling like we need to go to the source and not to this. And meanwhile, I'm like communing with these bunnies, but obviously I got to be a little horrified by the whole creepy like vibe, right? I'm like, this is starting to be a bad trip.
Yeah. Steven, what do you say?
Actually, I'm wondering if I can mark experience for being contrary just now.
To be what?
Contrary.
Contrary. Yes, it sounds like.
You want to go see the dead rat.
Specifically, I want us to stick together. Because as soon as we split up, that's when they get us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think
we need to maintain a solid front.
So your honest advice was
that we shouldn't split up.
We shouldn't split up.
But he's being contrarian to Frank, not to me. Frank wants to split up. Frank wants to go off there. So can we both leverage experience points?
Indeed, I think it's like you need to reach out to a fellow hunter. But
nope.
Doesn't say so?
It just says when you seek out and receive someone's honest advice.
Honest advice.
And we did ask Frank what we wanted to do.
All right, yeah.
Specifically.
Then, however, when you listen to Ethel's advice, then it's not the contrary anymore. Yeah, but so it's you don't get the experience
I don't get
point,
the experience point. Yeah, okay. But does he get the experience point for being contrary to Frank?
Yeah, one or the other.
Yeah. No, I think that's more valid than the contrarian than the.
All right.
Okay.
All right, then you stick together and go to Mark Miller.
To the source.
Oh, we're going to Mark Miller because he wants to go to the source and I want to go to the source.
All right, you go to the source. All right, you go to the source, and Frank is with you, and you are in this forest full of monster creatures, right? And I would say this is now finally the time to decide which of you rolls for reading a bad situation, because you are in a bad situation because the monsters don't like you going to the source where it all comes from, because you shall spread it and not bring it back. Wrong direction. Read a bad situation.
They're the cover-up.
But you have a chance because you are prepared to look around and read that bad situation you're suddenly in, because the monsters are coming. And fortunately again for you, this is roll plus sharp. This is the preparation before you are under heavy attack. So who wants to have taken the lead in this?
I think I will.
Yeah.
Then you roll.
I'm still feeling confident. I still got my +1 forward.
Yeah.
And,
you see them coming in your hallucinations.
Yeah.
So that's 3 on the roll, right?
So that is 7 on the dice. That's a 10.
10. So you have 3 questions from the list.
3 questions.
My best way in, my best way out.
Are there any dangers we haven't noticed?
Yeah. It's the sweetest and the meanest at the same time, yes, because it brings up ideas in the keeper's head.
Yes.
I love that one. You want to ask them one by one, and I give you some information. All right, let's do it like that. And so the biggest threat is on top of you, because there are squirrels, and 2 of them, and they have a dark fur and green eyes, which make them especially scary. And they are running down the tree, one to the left and one to the right. That is the threat you haven't noticed yet. Stephen has now.
Okay.
Okay. I whip out my hunting rifle.
Yes.
And say, squirrels!
Oh no!
Squirrels! Okay, yeah. So they want to catch Ethel. And if you're good, you can protect her. Okay. Protect someone. And you act on the answer. So
well, I was hoping to kick some ass first.
Let's first protect her.
Okay.
You are in the territory.
So that's a 7.
It's a 7, and you get +1 because of the read a bad situation. But it's an 8, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but yeah,
so that's 8.
It doesn't change anything.
Yeah.
You protect them, okay, but you'll suffer some or all of the harm they were going to get.
Oh no.
So how much harm was Ethel going to get?
They are doing just 1 harm. The problem is the poison.
Is that poison?
This venom.
Oh, my venom, yeah.
The venom they have might soon also be in Steven.
Oh no, yes. You're going to turn into a venom creature too, but we don't know this yet.
But with that result, you protect her okay. So you shot one of them, and the other one was climbing up your rifle and up to you. But you could also somehow smash that one, but only after it bite you.
Sure.
Yeah. And
so, but wait, I was gonna get infected doubly by the, or I've already been infected.
You've been infected, yeah.
So I wouldn't have got, if he had just let me gotten bit, I wouldn't have gotten.
You just would have taken a harm, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But the spirits are out of the way now. Okay. So the immediate threat is gone. Yeah.
So anything special about the squirrels?
Yeah, but I understand why Steven preferred to roll kick some ass because protect someone. Yeah, it's a move, but it's one of the moves I'm not so happy about in the Monster of the Week thing.
Yeah, high risk.
But sorry, but I was thinking that in the territory of the monster, it is okay to give the monsters at least a tiny little bit of advantage here.
What I was gonna say is, what are the bunnies doing now that this squirrel thing happened? Are they still around? The spirit bunnies.
They've seen their traces, and you could also like sniff them because of the extra senses you have by now, like through your magic, and running behind them and where they go. But you know now, like you are under attack, so you can also react now. What would you do? What would you ask?
Okay, well, what else is? I mean, is there any? Because obviously, if he just got rid of both of the squirrels, there's no apparent danger that we can tell, unless something comes out of the woodwork and attacks us again.
The way your hallucinations are like that, you can see that this purple lines on the ground, like a matrix, are contracting like where you are. So it seems that everything is going into your direction very soon. That's the kind of danger which is close, and who knows what big animals are also out in this forest.
Okay, and let's see.
You can also ask your other 2 questions whenever you want.
Yes. So the squirrels are taken care of now?
They are dead, both. Yes. Okay.
All right. Yep. So what's my best way in to the source now?
You can still perfectly see the trail, and if you put all your focus on it, it's like a line on the ground. The best way in would be to go straight and run simply. That's your best way in.
Okay.
Yeah, you can act with +1 on the answer.
And in this whole situation, what is the biggest threat that we're going to face?
Well, the biggest threat, there are big animals out there, and there is a bear in this forest, and that bear, you can sense it. It was here. You can see it. It has left like scratches on the tree. But the real, in real, the much bigger threat is the source itself. when you go there, that's the place of danger number one, for sure. And it's not because of the animals.
Ethel, what do you think? Should we press forward or double back and go for the farm?
That seems sort of weird that the danger at the source is not from the animals. What is going on? I mean, I'm sort of inclined to check out the source, maybe cautiously, but see what's going on. Maybe not go all the way, but scope it out before we, not go all the way, but scope out the region, if that's possible.
Maybe you should be fast, run.
Because that's the quickest way to go, is when he found out.
Yeah. Follow his feet deeper into the forest.
Yeah.
I have to say I disagree. I have to say that I'm feeling now that we might be overlooking some potentially useful information at the farm. Perhaps by speaking with the farmer or through whatever else we'll find there.
He's asking for your honest advice.
I'm gonna have to insist we go that way instead.
Okay, so he insists me to go that way. Well, I mean, but then if I change my advice, what does that do? I just said that we should go to the source, but then I guess going to the farm could be a way to find an antidote to this damn venom.
Well, if he listens to you, you get an experience point.
Well, that's what I say. I'm like, let's go see if there's some antidote, because he got bit by the squirrel. Yeah. Can we tell? Does he feel anything from the squirrel poison?
Not yet.
So we don't know that there's poison, but we know that they had green eyes.
Yeah, I think it's probably safe to. It's a safe bet that that squirrel did the same thing to me as the bug did to you.
Let's find some antidote, because if this dude is farming out near the monsters, I think that we need to go see if he has any antidote.
I think dealing with the monsters is actually more pressing. I mean, the venom works on a scale of what, 3 days thereabouts.
Yeah.
Which means we have enough time to.
He manages to do the same thing. Okay, well, then let's go.
All right.
I'll go with you, and I'll check out the venom, and you can do whatever you want. Let's go. Even though this source is interesting, but who knows? 3 days. I guess we have time before anything weird happens.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
All right. So.
Meanwhile, what does Frank say?
So your advice was to go to the farm finally, and you say
no. Her advice was to go to the source,
yeah.
And I said no. Let's go to the farm.
Yeah.
And then I said let's go to the farm and look for the antidote. And then you said no. Let's go to the farm and check out the monsters.
What's he doing?
I'm following him, obviously, to the farm. Even
to the farm.
I didn't get any.
All right.
Any advice followed, but.
So you go to the farm.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. So you turn around, but I mean, you already have the whole awareness of the forest, and the matrix is pulling together around you. And so, if you want to get out there in time, you both need to act under pressure. It's like the only way to get out there. Because the animals, they're coming.
We gotta go. Let's get out of here.
Roll.
Oh boy.
All right. 7, 7.
7 and 5.
5. And you roll plus cool.
Okay.
Which is then 6.
Okay, 6. Okay.
Which is a miss.
Miss. Okay.
You get an experience point.
Okay.
An XP. If you don't use your move, I've read about this sort of thing. If you can justify that, then it would be a 7. And you make it.
Okay, as far as
but
getting away from the monsters?
Yes, running.
Running. I've run about I guess I think I've read about like how super duper runners get their extra burst of energy through everything and just like mental keenness, sharp thing.
Yeah. Like this ducking and jumping, like
something like that, yeah.
In random
breathing manner.
All right. And Stephen, what did you get?
I got a 7.
You also got a 7. All right. So the animals are after you, and like the whole forest is like going after you. And so there's still Frank with you, and Frank wasn't that lucky. Frank,
oh no,
Frank is falling to the ground, and well, it's up to you to stay with him, but then you're in a big battle with like many animals. Or you run forward and escape, like you just managed to escape. You can make it back to the train.
I think I'm too of a
Yes.
I'm like a young professor. I can't like let them on. Does my ability to communicate things that I don't have language with extend now? Can I try to talk to the monsters?
Maybe, yeah. Let's come to that back later. Stephen, what do you do?
So Ethel is slowing down?
I'm definitely not going to leave Frank.
She yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna bail. I think I need to help Frank.
Okay. I'm going to take a moment here. Frank is a local. He knows what he's doing. And he's the one who led us here in the first place. So he kind of
God, that's totally sound.
is a little suspicious in my eyes, because he led us into this mess, and I say that we just go forward and let him deal with it. So I want you to join me as I boot it out of here, leave Frank behind, and head for the farm. I'm trying to manipulate you.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
So
yeah, you can use the move manipulate someone also on other players.
Okay, great. Okay.
And because I am doing with contrary, because I'm doing the exact opposite of the advice that I got.
Mm-hmm.
Right, the advice I got was to stay and examine the source and investigate the source. I decided to go back to the farm because I'm doing the exact opposite. I'm also taking +1 ongoing on any moves I make pursuing that course.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm rolling at +3 now.
Oh wow! You have a +2 on charm, or -1 on charm, right?
Oh, but I was using see it all fits together.
Ah, yeah.
Frank is one of them.
It all fits together. I understand. This is why you use sharp again. Okay.
Because, he's connected to this conspiracy.
Yeah, understood. What's really going on? And what did you roll? 4.
Which is a 7.
Which is a 7, which is still a success. And
which means that if you do what I ask, you mark experience.
You're getting experience.
Okay, well, I guess it makes sense then. They're like, okay, if you think he's a flake, then hopefully he can. He did give us these pills that were supposed to be painkillers.
Oh, yes. And you're still like, whoa. And you hear his screams from the forest.
Oh no. Is he getting eaten?
You don't know. Maybe he was just stepping into some muddy ground.
Oh, I obviously am following you because there's monsters behind us, but I'm sure I'm feeling very, very conflicted.
Yes.
Oh no! We murdered the fry cook.
And finally, you make it to the farm. The farm is not a farm anymore. It's a fortress. He has put the farmer has put walls around there, with his big sacks, which you can get as a farmer and put hay in there. And it seems that it's a Bastilian. And, when you're getting closer, you see the farmer and he's behind there and he has a shotgun with him and he's, no, not a single step further. That must be Mark Miller.
Yeah. It's like, hey, we need your help. There's all these creatures in the mountain and Frank just got eaten.
Frank just got eaten. Well, you bitten by the animals.
How can you tell? No.
Question mark.
Where are we?
How do you know?
No. Otherwise, he was asking.
He was asking, yeah.
He wasn't saying you were. He wasn't affirming. Why? Because I want to know what's up with the venom, and obviously,
well,
what's your first instinct to answer?
My first instinct is to turn the question back on him. Why, were you bitten?
Good one.
Not sure.
Well, look.
Keep the whole outside up, and I have the antidote.
You do?
We're not sure either, so we think we should take some of your antidote.
I don't want you close here. I'm not sure.
They told us.
It's okay. It's okay. We're the good guys. Not government affiliated at all.
What?
Why don't you invite us in and so you could tell us a little bit about what's going on here?
Roll from manipulate, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah. It's your chance to get along with people. I mean, you are such a charming person, aren't you?
Yeah, not
Plus
zero. Zero. But I didn't have. That was my best bet as far as charm is concerned as the expert. I think. Oh my god.
Ooh, that's a 10.
Wow.
So they'll do it for the reason you gave them, which is becoming allies, possibly, I guess. Yeah. And how do you know about all this?
We know stuff. There's patterns everywhere.
You were not sent by this journalist.
We never spoke to the journalist, but we saw his article.
All right. They got beaten too. Need to know. They're infested already.
The journalist.
Yes. Now come in.
Okay.
Opens the gate, which is from his barn, as it seems, and he let you in.
Okay.
Closes everything behind him, and then you see from the forest the stampede of animals coming. Lurking in the forest.
I'm going to do some magic.
All right, yeah.
I want to bar this place to infected creatures.
What do you want to do?
Once we have the antidote, I want to prevent any infected creatures from getting into this place.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he's showing you what he has in terms of antidotes. There's like one of those tanks where you put like milk from cows in there, and it's full with a transparent fluid, and it smells like peppermint, and it must be one of the main ingredients actually. And this peppermint fluid, he tells you that is the antidote, and he has created it. And but that's all he has because he doesn't have any more ingredients, like from all the vegetables he got. Shouldn't drink from it.
Mr. Miller, how do you know the antidote works?
Well, when these I had these animals in here, and he's showing you the dead rat, and suddenly in his hand, and when they want to drink it, and then they die. And at that moment, you also feel like a certain temptation to bath into the liquid. But will it kill you? No.
So,
can you tell if someone's not telling the truth?
Mm-hmm.
Is he telling the truth?
Well, there must be a secret ingredient he's not telling you about. There's something he hasn't told you. That's not all. It's not just his vegetables in there.
So, wait, I'm confused. You fed this antidote to these animals and they died. How is that an antidote?
And they died, yes. And
That's not an antidote, that's a poison.
Well, they're not dangerous anymore. And you can't be infected if you drink it before you get infected. You can't get infected, I'm sure.
How do you know that?
And he's not lying on that. He's convinced of it.
Have you drunk it?
Yes.
It hasn't been infected.
Have you Have you yourself had the antidote?
Pardon?
Have you yourself had the antidote?
Yes.
I don't suppose biting him would do anything because we can't tell whether someone's been infected or not at any moment. So it would really work.
Okay. Well.
So thinking about using magic. So
meanwhile, I have an urge to drink it, but I don't want to drink it. I think it's a bad idea.
Yeah. You don't feel that urge. Maybe you're not infected.
Ethel?
Ethel definitely wants to drink that.
What do you think? What is your honest advice? Should we drink this this afternoon?
Oh no. Well, my honest advice is that it probably will kill us like the rat poison. So I think that it's probably a bad idea, even though I want to drink it. And for pragmatic.
Well, you know what? I'm going to have to disagree there. I believe this guy when he says that he tried it and he was okay. And it's got the ring of truth to it, you know? I'm going to drink it.
Yeah, maybe it's not too late for you still because it's just a couple of minutes ago, right?
Right.
Experience. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You might not have the effects yet. Oh, God. So hopefully this is antidote because otherwise you're going to be dead.
So you drink that and the antidote, and it's the latest point where it starts to you as if you are using magic. So I would ask you to roll use magic.
All right. So I'm yeah, I'm gonna basically dip my fingers into the antidote itself and draw a symbol on the door that is associated with the order of stonemasonry, seeing as how they're the ones who have influence over this sort of thing. And I'm going to empower that symbol to keep all these creatures out. 6, 8, 10.
10. Oh,
10.
The magic works perfectly.
Works without issues. So my effect is to bar a place or portal to a specific person or type of creature.
Okay.
And
Let's
can you explain again that you use yourself as a totem, one could say, or
Yeah, sort of.
yeah. It's I would say that was last minute because the animals were not able to wait much longer in the forest. They only waited for the bear to come. And there's a big, nasty bear, and it has transformed already quite heavily. Even worse, parts of its body are transformed into wax. There's metals, garbage.
No.
There's waste coming out of his body in this huge bear. And talking about giant rats, no, there's a giant bear.
He's part trash.
And part trash. And he's coming out of the forest. And behind him, his army of little forest animals. And coming closer and closer
Well,
to the gate.
he's barring the entrance, but what about someone who's already been infected who's inside? Hasn't taken the antidote. Because I think it's going to poison me.
You feel strangely affected. Present. It's bear.
Yes.
It feels like this. It has an effect on you. Like seeing this bear, this creature. It's like a leader. It's like you are strong enough. You can resist it. But then,
it's like I'm like getting under the thrall of the bear.
Yeah, you still have 3 more days before you're there.
Okay, and there's some garbage thing transformation going on.
But Stephen is quite impressive. Like he's standing there and like.
So he took the venom, so he's not dead. So.
Not yet.
Not yet. What happened to the rats before they died? After they ate the venom?
Mark Miller is quite impressed by Stephen. Like when he first saw him, you wouldn't expect him to stand against the bear from the forest. And so he's like, you're afraid. You think he might be infected. And he drank the antidote. For the rats, it didn't take longer than 5 minutes, but like for a human, maybe it's an hour or so, they can resist.
What happened to them?
Well, they got cramps and lying on the ground, and there was like some green gas coming out of their mouth.
Oh no!
And there's a certain smell. You can smell it on the corpse still. Yeah, like it smells like this. What is salpeter? Like this
salpeter.
Salpeter. It smells like salpeter. Yeah.
Gunpowder.
Yeah. And looking at Stephen, you're not sure if this is just sweat.
Sweat. He's sweating, or he's exuding gunpowder.
He's still hallucinating, so you don't know.
I think we need to go and check out this source because
well,
I'm not sure.
First things first, we need to drive these animals away. So I take the butt of my rifle.
The bear is straight looking into your eyes.
Yes. So I take the butt of the rifle and break a hole in the in one of the panes of the window of the building.
Meanwhile, I want to try to talk to this bear who's trying to be my leader. I'm like, what the hell is going on? What do you guys want?
Okay.
Can I ask that?
You want to talk to the bear?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, yeah. I mean, you can communicate with these animals.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
So we had
so
that.
I want to check that out.
To make a mental connection.
I'm like, what's going on? What do you want?
And you'll use magic.
Okay.
And Stephen, like acting so cool in front of this creature, this gigantic bear, who might not be so impressed by your hunting rifle. I think that's acting under pressure. Yeah. So you got a 6, but you have +1 in weird, which fortunately brings it to a 7, so it's not a miss.
Okay.
But you can have a look again for a glitch, an effect, and a glitch.
Okay. Okay, so I'm trying to talk to them.
So it seems to be the communicate.
Oh, again, yeah. Okay, oh, I see. That's like one of the things you can use magic. And okay, just to say something different than the problematic side effect because it's fun, but we already did that. I can't imagine what immediate unwelcome attention might happen, but why don't we?
All right,
I want to talk to the bear, but maybe someone who I don't want to know we're talking to.
Maybe you just want to listen because it's safer, but he's also
understood.
Registering you.
Yes, I'm like, what is going on here? What do you want?
Yeah. All right. Hey, Stephen, you got that? Or shall we repeat from the slide?
Did you hear? I'm sorry, I wasn't. What I want to do is ask the bear what's going on. I used magic, and my glitch is that it draws immediate unwanted attention.
And Stephen, how was your act under pressure?
Act under pressure, I got an 8.
Which is worst outcome, hard choice, or price to pay. So what is your plan? What are you trying to do with your little boy?
My plan is now that all the creatures are being kept away from the building, to start sniping at them.
All right, yeah, get rid of the small animals. The bear might not be too happy about that. And currently, I would say you can keep the bear outside with your magic, with the antidote inside of you, by keeping eye contact. You can still blindly shoot at the other animals. There are enough of them around, but it will make the bear unhappy.
Well, I was actually thinking of shooting at the bear.
At the bear? Oh, yes. Yeah, the bear will also be unhappy about that. Yeah.
The bear's going to be unhappy anyway, right?
Yes, yeah. And as long as you stare in his eyes, he's not able to cross the gate. And when you start shooting at him, you hurt him. Not too much, but he's still willing to withdraw. But before that happens, he's drawing his head around and looking into another direction, which comes quite as a shock for you. And seems that he's getting into mental connection with you.
Okay. That's the bear saying.
One of us is already in. You can open the gate for us.
Oh, shit. Can I resist this?
You can. You can.
Yeah, okay. But he's not answering my question. Obviously.
What is your question?
My question is, why are you here? What do you want? What's going on?
We need to destroy the fluid. Our master is in danger. It's the last thing which can stop it from taking over the world.
That's probably the source. Is your master the source?
My master. It's your master. And you know where you can find us. You belong to us.
Oh, God.
And we take care that it doesn't take too long.
Oh, God.
Be ready. When the moment comes to decide the destiny of this plane of existence.
Not like
From the garbage can.
I think we need
West Coast.
I guess I need to drink this antidote, and I think we need to take a bucket of it and we need to go to the source. That's what I think we need to do.
Firefighters. Okay, is that a plan?
That's my plan. That's my suggestion.
Is that your
like
advice?
Yeah. You're not up for the contrary.
No, that sounds like a good idea to me.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Yeah, the antidote is poison for you.
Oh shit, so I start. I'm done.
Yeah, probably sometime soon. It causes cramps inside of you, and maybe you should visit a hospital. Maybe it's just painkillers. Or maybe I can't handle pills anyway that good. Yeah, sometimes that happens.
Wait a minute.
Maybe.
Okay.
Is this affliction? Does this affliction count as a disease or poison?
This antidote.
The antidote.
You said it's poison to her, right?
Yeah, it's poison.
So, and I'm poisoned.
So what I would like to do is basically draw on my own health, my own sort of reaction to the antidote, the fact that it's made me sort of stronger and feel better, and try to sort of will some of that into Ethel. What I'd like to do is to use magic to try to heal Ethel.
All right. Heal, try it. However, I would say like heal means you can prevent it from killing her too soon.
Pardon?
Maybe the source will help us figure out something.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe it's all done then.
Yeah.
So can I try this magic then?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
6, 8.
8. All right.
So the effect is that I cure the disease or neutralize the poison.
All right.
And I think the glitch is that I take 1 harm because I'm pulling some of that illness into myself.
Sharing the pain.
Yep.
That's good, yeah. And the keeper may say, I can also add that the spell requires, for example, weird materials or takes longer. I would say the spell requires, in terms of ritual chanting and gestures, it takes that you somehow get this physical contact in some sense to transfer that pain. And maybe you can tell me how you transfer that pain
to him,
to Stephen, to your friend. How do you do that? How is this?
Because like this poison is painful.
Yes.
Okay.
How does it look like?
Okay, so he's still like all so I know that I need to touch him somehow. So I guess I
Oh, I have an idea. So I have a bite on my arm, right, from the squirrel.
Uh-huh.
So I think what I do is I put my wound against the wound on the bite on your forehead.
Okay.
And draw sort of, and use that contact to sort of draw a bit of
the antidote
of the pain. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, but the hurt. Okay, so how does that play out?
Well, yeah, I can describe how the glitch works out. So this one harm.
Okay.
It goes through. You can see it. It's this greenish kind of thing which is going through there, and the connection stays. This harm is like really slowly going through. The connection between your head and your arm is visible the whole time. So there's some illuminated, like a rope, like a
rope. Oh.
Yeah, where the poison is slowly
Steven.
spilling over, and it hurts. It really hurts. Oh, it hurts.
What?
But now you have your buckets.
Okay, and then what? Meanwhile, what is Mark saying?
Mark Miller with his thick beard, standing there with his shotgun in his hand. Do you want, like, can I make you a sandwich before you go there? Or something?
We have sandwiches.
You have so many sandwiches today already, yes?
I think we need to deal with this. Who knows how long this antidote thing is going to work. I think we need to go get rid of the source before it takes over the world.
All right. I wish you all the luck.
You don't want to come with us?
Well, somebody should stay here and keep the bassin with the rest of the antidotes safe, right?
I guess we're going to have to do without Mark. Okay, let's run into the... But meanwhile, the guys are still outside, right?
Yeah, but they are forced back into the forest. The bear was not happy about shooting at him.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's gone. Okay, well, we better run and hope that poor Frank figured out something.
All right, yeah.
Frank got...
Right.
Okay.
Indeed, yeah. And so with the buckets and running straight to the creatures, like, is that a good idea?
That's what the spirit bunny said.
So how do you want to get through this? This enemy army.
I think that we might
under pressure, right?
we might need to read a bad situation here.
Yeah, read a bad situation. Yeah. One of you should read the bad situation, and maybe then you have a good idea.
Okay.
That's this one here.
I'm able to do as well. Well
yeah.
I can do
it.
Yeah. I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, do that. I mean, you are the person with the proper hallucinations.
Okay, let's do that then. Let me check out and see what the bunny spirit world is telling me about all this.
6 plus the sharp is 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you make it to an 8.
Okay.
Which is good, because on really bad situation, it still means that you can ask one of the questions.
Okay. So the question is, we are trying to get through, right?
Yeah.
So, I guess we need to get what's the best way through the army without getting.
What's your best way in?
Yeah, like what's the best way through these creatures?
Yeah. So you have the water buckets
with the
antidote. That could be of help, but you also don't want to waste it, because you really need that
for the source.
Yeah. But maybe it helps that you are one of them. I mean, maybe they don't want to hurt you. Maybe you can protect the others. Like maybe.
How can I hide? Well, there's just him and me at this point.
Yeah.
Well, can I hide him through?
Yeah.
Is there a way to sort of shuffle him through? Because they obviously are not. I noticed that they're not. Okay. Well, that's really funny.
Okay, then you roll act under pressure.
Okay. And I read something about.
And Stephen, you hide, yeah? I hope you follow that advice.
So, your advice is that
Well, I haven't given specific advice. What I'm going to say is I've read something about this because I'm acting under pressure, and I've read about a way to make people protected from monsters. And so not visible to monsters. So
just stay in my bag is more or less the advice to you, yes.
So your advice to me is to hide and sneak in there?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't think they're going to get me, but I think that they're going to get you.
Even with the antidote in your veins.
Yeah.
Still kill you physically.
True enough.
Okay, so the spirit bunnies told me that I'm good to go.
Yeah, you're good to go.
Oh, 5.
5, yeah. But
acting under pressure. 5 plus but
2.
I've read something about this.
Yeah. So. That's a 7.
Okay.
That's a 7. That's just good enough. And well, is it do you want to I would say, yeah, well, you can make it, but I mean, it's unavoidable that Stephen gets bitten by. I mean, you run through the enemy army. It's like
so I can get through, but
you get through, yeah.
But he doesn't.
Stephen, you get to harm.
How many points does he have? How many points do we have?
Fortunately, I think enough.
Okay. Ouch. So you're getting beat.
But
so I think that rather than sneaking in, I think I'm not going to do that. And instead, I'm going to try to move as quickly as possible to get past all the sentinels of the forest there.
All right, so he's not behind you anymore.
Not paying attention to me. Oh no.
Oh no! So well, then act under pressure by yourself.
All right, and I'm marking experience.
Yes.
This time.
Oh, you level up.
I do. And I'm going to take another flake move.
Which is?
Which is which is sneaky. When I attack from ambush or from behind, I inflict +2 harm.
Oh wow! All right.
So I'm going to act under pressure now. 3, 8, 7.
7. Okay. Yeah, you make it through, but without the protection of the professor, it doesn't go well because you go straight through the enemy army. That's 4 harm, and then you're through.
4 harm?
4 harm. Yes.
Ooh.
Ouch. Okay. I'm in bad shape.
God, all my havens are useless to this.
That's 4 harm, which means your wounds are serious and unstable.
Yes.
And they will get worse unless treated. Whenever it is suitable, I can add another harm. As long as you're unstable.
Right.
But you're still okay. You like have bites all over your body, but you are through.
And I'm at the source.
And yeah, you are through the enemy army, and from there on, it's just a long run, and it's good that you do some exercise once in a while, because it's a long run. Fortunately, downhill from here, and the animals are obviously after you. But you make it, and you're at the source, and because you make it through the enemy army, it means it's unprotected, more or less.
Oh, the source.
The source.
So
yes.
what is the source? What do we see?
It's a cave. It's a dark cave, and there's some green light coming from inside. And it's definitely the source, and you feel a presence from beyond this world. Inside there's some whisper from 1,000 animals. That must be all small animals living in the cave.
Try to talk to them.
But you still have your water buckets with you.
Yeah.
Wow, good runners are you with water buckets in your hand.
Yes. Well, we gotta see what's in the cave, because obviously not just the cave is the source. There must be something inside the cave that's the source.
Stephen doesn't look good, and he still has this green gloomy light between you, which was quite helpful to find each other again after breaking through the enemy lines.
Yeah.
So he still gets the poison from you transferred.
Oh no!
And since he's unstable, I also have a reason now to once in a while.
Oh gosh! So I need to make magic, and I need to talk to the small creatures to try to see what can we do to stabilize this fellow, and they probably don't want to tell us.
Maybe,
they must know that we want to get rid of the source.
Well, you're still pretty much under pressure because the animal army is coming after you soon. You're right at the entrance. You still would like to get focus and use magic, or
should I be under pressure?
Or just walk in, or
I guess we need to go in and see what's going on. Even though he's looking pretty tattered, I'd like to help him with something.
That's a good idea, Stephen.
Yeah.
She's often right. That's the name of the move.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
That makes sense, yeah.
Okay,
you get experience, yeah. And Stephen, you get +1 forward when acting on the answer. Yeah, because it's a one-shot, we are very loose on using this because it's a lot of fun, I would say. And so you just move in, right?
Okay, yeah, we're going to go in because we don't have time to do anything else.
You don't need light because there's this green light in there, and it's fantastic. It looks great. The whole cave is just like illuminated by a web, which is, it's a big cave, and it's full of waste. It stinks, but the waste is like also like covered. It looks like half techno, half waste, half slimy, and it's pulsing and it's alive. It's big and alive. And the animals around there are seems to be like under earth creatures. Like there are worms, giant worms, and they all start crawling. While the cave, outside of the cave, the bear has arrived and is looking into the cave where you might be. But so far, nothing has reacted to you. What are you doing?
Oh my God, we can either like destroy it all without understanding what's going on by using the antidote, or we can try to talk.
Yeah.
I wish I was the one asking advice.
Stephen, is that a good opportunity to read a bad situation?
Yes, I think so.
I think so too, yeah. Bad situation.
That's an 8. Yeah.
So one question.
What is most vulnerable to me?
Ooh. Well, you can identify something which you could call the heart. Unfortunately, it's at the other end of the cave, obviously. But this is where the pulsing comes from.
And there's a bunch of animals between me and it, right?
There are these worms, but more scary are the antipodes, which this slimy green matrix is building in, which takes the shape of whatever that is, like tentacles, like. It looks disgusting. The worms, they are small, and you have shoes on. I mean, even giant worms are still pretty small. Don't know if they have some like acid or something and go through your shoes. I don't know, but this antipodes, yeah, they are in between you and the heart.
Hmm.
Oh my God.
Who's ready to go there?
We don't even know what is at the heart. I like want to know more. My character wants to know more. Wants to know what, investigate something.
All right, yeah.
So what I want to try is
Investigate mystery.
Investigate a mystery and find out what's being concealed. Would that be the right question?
Usually, it takes like really investigate, like the
Have a
detective
lot
looking
of
for
time to look
trace.
at things.
But in this case, because of your hallucinations, because you're already somehow part of all of this.
I've got bunny spirit.
Yeah,
guys.
with the bunny spirit still, yes.
Investigate. Oh.
Ooh, that's a 3 + 2 is just 5. That doesn't look good. We have these luck points, which we haven't used so far.
I wouldn't say that it's about time you have 2, so I have 1 technically. I'd say that it's time to use a luck point.
All right. And you push your roll to 12.
Okay.
Perfect result. And you can ask 2 questions.
Oh, okay. So I want to know what is being concealed here. Like, what isn't obvious?
The tentacles, they come out of the ground, and they will block your way to the heart, and you will not find your way there. It's a trap.
Oh, well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
And then
you need to find another way around. If you go straight to the heart, the tentacles will simply keep you where they are.
Okay, so that's what's being concealed.
It's a trap.
I want to know what's going on. What happened here? What's going on?
What happened here?
Why is this happening at the source?
Why is this happening? Yeah. It's pretty obvious that toxic waste is not a good idea, and when it intervenes with old cults and like sacred places, this could be a sacred place. And you remember this one book you were reading about sacred places here around, and thinking that maybe your blessed dagger is of help here because it's a sacred place.
Ooh. Okay, that's a good thing.
Maybe. So I think, Stephen, the advice is not to go straight to the heart.
Yeah, that's my advice. We can't go straight to the heart.
Good that you leveled up already, right?
We can't go straight to the heart. Maybe my knife will help us.
Maybe what will help us?
The knife.
Sure.
A blessed knife. A holy knife. But is there anything obvious as to looking like a particular blessed spot, like, or it's just the sources behind the tentacles, and it's a freaky looking?
All questions used up.
I know all my questions are used up, but like, okay, but obviously my eyes.
Yeah, your eyes can. Yeah, and your eyes were pretty busy with seeing and preventing Stephen from going further. What you wanted to do, right?
Okay, well, obviously, I guess I need to draw my blessed knife because the tentacles are coming towards us. So I guess I need to try to prevent the tentacles from getting us with the blessed knife.
All right, then. I would say you both should kick some ass because you are now heavy under pressure. If you defend yourself, it's kick some ass.
Okay, well, then I guess that's what needs to happen because I don't see any other place to use my blessed knife on, so.
Yeah, like if one of you only wants to protect someone, then you can also do that.
Okay, well, we don't have anyone immediately in danger except for the both of us.
You have a blessed knife, but has Stephen something to harm this? Well, except for the water, but maybe you want to save the water for the heart.
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
Yeah, antidote.
If I sort of dip my hand in the antidote and splash a little bit of it at the tentacles, what happens?
Well, the interesting thing is they seem to be addicted. They want the water. That's the strange thing about this antidote, right? That it attracts the animals.
Work very quickly.
And possibly doesn't work immediately. Yeah. So the first is negative in the sense of that it could be used as a weapon.
It's not a good weapon, obviously.
It's not a good weapon. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, obviously, I'm definitely doing the knife thing.
Yeah.
That's how you need to use that, right?
Mm-hmm.
With it.
Then do so.
Okay, so I roll.
Then Stephen is just helping out.
Okay, I'm gonna try to get the tentacle, trash, garbage, creepy tentacle. Oh, that's not so great either.
5. 5 plus tough.
Which is
-1.
Oh, 4.
No, you rolled a 4.
Call.
I mean, you have a +1 through investigating mystery, acting on the answers.
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
I got use my luck, but no.
You could use your last luck.
But yeah.
Then you're doomed.
No, I'm not ready to be doomed yet. I mean, I know it's coming up and all, but
yeah.
If I were to try to run past the tentacles.
Yeah.
While they're being distracted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Under pressure, right?
Yeah. So you couldn't expect that it goes that worse for Ethel because you are completely under the tentacles now. And well.
Can I throw him my blessed knife?
Maybe. So if you run past the tentacles with the buckets of the antidote, then you should roll act under pressure.
Okay. That's a 7, but I'm going to use a luck point.
All right, it's the luck point.
Yeah.
The luck point. That's a perfect result, and so you make it down the hall, and yeah, you have antidote with you, and it's not going to go well for the brain.
So I've reached the heart then?
And the thing, whatever that is, it has also something called a harm track, like hit points, and you do them 5 points of damage.
With the antidote.
With the antidote, but all water is used up. All the water you have.
Can is there any chance that that's
It has 7, so there are 2 more left.
The fact that I suddenly ran at it through these tentacles in sort of a surprise move like that, could that possibly count as an ambush?
It is an ambush, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, then I inflict +2 harm.
Yeah! True. Then it's worked perfectly. So you make 7 points of damage, and while you are under the tentacles, the bear is crawling into the cave. A big shatter goes through the cave. Stones and rocks falling from the roof, but fortunately not killing you. And the tentacles lose grip on you. The animals turn around, feel a terrible pain. The connection between you and you dissolves with one last strike directly into your heart.
Oh my God, we're both dead.
And then the nightmare is over. You rescued the world.
But we just like died in the cave. Can we use
maybe not.
we can
Well, if there's one last So you're saying one less strike to the heart. That means one more harm, right?
One more harm. You still have one, right?
I do have one, but with that extra one harm, I'm dying.
You have one more left. Yeah.
I had one more left.
Because technically, I took it, but it was killing me. The antidote. So, am I a monster? Or are I cured? Or
but you know, on 8 harm, right?
There's 7 harm.
Yeah. If you then get another one, yeah, then you are dead.
Okay.
okay, so
if you can't absorb another one, you're dead. That means you can get up and get out of this cave.
Just barely, yeah.
And you can get Ethel with you if you want.
Yep.
Okay, well, still haven't really solved the mystery, but the source is done.
The source is done, and that's the kind how such a mystery ends. Well, and then later, next day, then you can go to the library and check out what was really going on in your puzzle.
Yeah.
So that's the end of the mystery. Thank you for playing.
Awesome.
What is always a lovely thing to do for one-shots, in my opinion, is doing epilogues.
Okay.
Like what happens to your characters.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Do you want to start? You have something, what happens to your character and all this?
So yeah, Stephen basically crawls out of the cave. He's bleeding from multiple scratches and wounds all over him, so he crawls out, sort of dragging Ethel behind him. And he immediately collapses onto his back, reaches into his jacket pocket, pulls out his phone, goes to openyoureyessheeple.com and updates his previous posts with the truth about what's happened, which is that Merck Pharmaceuticals has been bioengineering this weaponized form of basically weaponized this this toxin that makes animals feral in collaboration with the U.S. government and military, because they were obviously trying to breed or trying to create super soldiers, and it's thanks to the valiant efforts of myself and Professor Bienvenista that we managed to foil the evil plans of the U.S. military and Merck Pharmaceuticals.
Okay, and so
I get 20 more prestige points from the rating system on on openyourpeople.com.
And a bunch of shares.
Around the number of people who believe in the theory as well.
Right.
Cool. Yeah.
Okay, so my posting is I obviously have to go and deal with my car. It got towed, right?
Yeah.
And get it out of wherever they took it, and I also have to like sort of get back into my life and hope that no one at the university reads anything on the website, because I got named, but I also need to go into a deep investigation.
Oh, I didn't name you specifically. I used your screen name.
Okay.
Yeah.
My screen name. Okay, cool.
It's all good.
Hey, it's safe. Nobody will ever find out. No.
Yeah. So then I go into an investigation to figure out what more like chemical based like monster creation
might be possible, and obviously that becomes a new interest in me, having almost gotten like, you know, turned into a monster and freed. I need to, you know, get out of my head, out of the like arcane monster knowledge, and be sort of, because who did this? Was it on purpose? And everything. So obviously maybe later we're gonna have to try to, like, you know, sideways. We never talked to the journalist. We don't know what the journalist had to say.
Indeed, yeah. We might, like, when the show is over and like the screen is like the
credits
run, so there must be, I guess, a last scene where we go into your body and follow like a blood drop to your heart and see your heart is green and bumping.
Oh. That antidote didn't work. Oh, no kitty.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, thanks for playing.
Professor. That's good. That was good.
That was great.
That was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, we can definitely do that again if it's for me.
Yeah, no, I agree, and maybe even integrate my brother was all excited, but he definitely he's on like this roller coaster 2-day ride where he pretty much doesn't have any, he's been on someone else's program, so it's probably pulling in like as we speak at this point.
Maybe for you it's very late now, I guess. I haven't looked at the
It's midnight now, almost. Yeah.
Oh, not too bad. But still,
wow.
bedtime,
Yes.
probably.
Yeah, like we started at 6 and now it's 10. That means
that's a good.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, the setup obviously took its time.
Yeah.
And getting into it, but yeah, cool.
There's something called end of session.
Yeah.
I really like them. The idea of end of session questions. If you are fine, you could still like quickly do them, which is still part of the game. But I would also be interested in like what you thought about the game, what you liked about it. I'm not a fan of roses and thorns because I don't like thorns. That's the idea of like everybody's first saying something negatively and then something positively.
Yeah, no, it's sort of a little short, little formal. Yeah.
If you have something negatively or something critical to, then it's still possible. Like we are all connected online and can talk about things.
Yeah.
End of session is like, did we conclude the current mystery?
Yes.
Feels sort of, but not really, because we still don't really know what's going on. Why are monsters getting activated by toxic sludge, and who is dumping the waste there? And you know, maybe you're right about Merck and the U.S. government, but obviously I'm more skeptical. You're pretty convinced.
That's your professor mind, which is never satisfied.
Yeah.
Every answered question.
So obvious. How can you not see it? It's so obvious.
I don't see the proof yet. I need to see the proof.
At least you could explain where the monster rats came from.
Yeah.
Did we save someone from certain death or worse?
No.
We never found out what happened to Frank. Oh, poor Frank.
Frank is toast.
Yeah. We learned something new and important about the world.
Yes.
Yes.
I think so.
Monster, mutant.
You can't end a session including a flake and an expert without having learned something about the world. Did we learn something new and important about one of the hunters?
Yeah.
Well, in the epilogue, Pam, that you just told us about the green heart.
The heart, yes. Indeed, yeah. Yeah, the last one I especially like because it also puts emphasis in the game. Because you get, like, if these are crossed, then you get additional experience points. So if you get 1 or 2 with yes, you get 1 experience point. If you get 3 or 4 with yes, then mark 2 experience points. And so that's another way of pushing the players to make this answer speak true at the end.
Okay,
I love it. Yeah, it's a very nice way to say we want to learn something about the hunters as well, not only about the world.
Yeah, for sure, cool. Yeah.
That's cool.
And leveling up in this game is very easy. There is an improvement list, and you just cross one of the checkboxes. You can improve your stats, but much more interesting usually is like take more moves.
Yeah.
Yeah, because as we can see, they can even solve.
They can save the day.
Yes. That was not planned at all. No. I was thinking of the dagger, but no way. No, the ambush. You couldn't do it more perfectly. Yeah, that's it.
Cool.
On feedback, I'm very much looking forward, David, to play more with you. Since we already had one appointment because we played Brain Poop or whatever that is called.
Okay.
In August.
Okay.
Yes, that's right.
Cool.
Yeah. There's one with Rich Rogers, who is a fantastic GM.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. We play one session or 2 sessions.
We got 2 sessions. Yeah.
Ah, cool. Yeah. We're playing 2 sessions where we play Japanese school girls, right?
Okay.
Is that really true? Monster hunting.
Okay, monster hunting. Okay, cool.
Or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool.
Should be a good time.
Awesome. Well, that's fun.
Yeah.
And to you, I can say I understand now why you say that you never played D&D the proper way, but your own way, because you felt well suited to this system, I would say as well.
Yeah, well, we're never. I mean, I think that we always felt cool about it. But, I mean, our group was very. I mean, I think you, David, were like one of the few other people. I've mostly just played with like Jake and Keith and my brother. And we really did our own thing a lot. We really used to like slash the rules or argue the rules. Jake was always open to us like logically arguing the rules.
Right.
And that felt
that's one of the things I like. One of the things I like about rules light systems like Powered by the Apocalypse games is that you don't get bogged down by arguing about the rules.
That's what I always. Yeah, I remember when we had kids who'd come through who had played other at D&D before, and I remember some people just being so rule bound that it was just not as fun as just like, okay, the important part is the story and the people and how we interact and checking things out. So
yeah.
But yeah, it's cool. And it's fun to play something that is different, a different, setting that is sort of set up. And it seems like it's set up in an easy way for someone to not, one of the things that always used to happen with making the games before, it did take so long to make the characters and it took so long to set it up that usually, you couldn't have really done one setting once and you couldn't, and it was a lot more ponderous to start. So that's nice. And then just a different setting. It's sort of cool, I enjoyed playing sort of a regular West Coast that gave it a little bit of a realness that you could imagine, especially since I went to school there. So I could just, it's good. It was sort of close to home because I know the zone. So,
Yeah.
And how did you like Monster of the Week?
It was fun. It was fun. The one thing actually that surprised me, or that I didn't notice at first, but sort of threw me off a little bit, is there's no social currency mechanic. Like in Monster Hearts, there's strings, in debts, in the Veil, there's Giri, and so on. That seems to be a fairly common element of Powered by the Apocalypse games. And I don't know, I'm not sure how I feel about the fact that it doesn't exist in Monster of the Week. it sort of eliminates an element of inter-character sort of rules interaction, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean that was one thing that sort of came to mind when I was sort of at the beginning of the session. But overall, yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a pretty wild time. It was fun to play. It was I like the I enjoyed finding creative ways to use magic.
Yes, yeah. That's like the thing I didn't understand while just reading the rules, how characters which are mundane could ever use magic. Why should you ever where's this weird skill? Like the set weird. Why it only comes into play for use magic, and how should you ever do that? And then I played it, and it's so obvious that it's
like
so quickly goes.
When you're going, which is good, because I always like that sort of. I remember playing games where I'd be like, okay, I'm a thief, but I'm trying to learn magic.
Yeah.
So I'm not a magic practitioner yet, but I'm trying to steal spells. And that was a character that I played that I really enjoyed. I played like a street urchin thief, and I was like obsessed with learning about magic.
That's
so
cool.
You know, that was fun.
And what strings and bonds and that's indeed, yeah,
well, that seems like that's a dynamic that I don't think they've in Dungeons and Dragons there wasn't really, unless it's tied in by the DM.
Yeah, like other systems, they have like Dungeon World has a very simple system where you have like you define a connection to another character, and when you trigger that, you get experience points for that. So there's an incentive to interact.
I mean, we never had anything so mechanistic. It was more just like, oh, you know, this is the DM has chosen this connection that maybe you discover along the way or whatever.
And Urban Shadows goes even further because it's all about intrigues and powers, relationships.
Okay, that's interesting.
So
well,
you can,
that sounds fun.
You can pull in then your deck. Yeah, somebody rescued you from the terrible monsters, and next time you can say, you do what I want, I call in my deck, you own me, and then you get experience points.
Very underworldy.
Yeah. And I understand why they left it out here for a monster hunting group, but it somehow makes sense. And I find it interesting. Then again, sometimes it's lacking that I want to use something like this and there's nothing, and it's not procedural as game designers say.
Well, it seems like all the characters, just really cursorily, you know, reading them, it seems like they're all very they're very individualistic and in their own thing, and they all sort of go in a different direction than, you know, each has their own thing going on. So that would make sense. But I mean, in certain ways, like that relationship that we just did about the advice giving, that was sort of some sort of dynamic that was going on.
It was a fun combination,
and these, I personally very much like these moves, where you get like XP for doing certain things which have an impact on group dynamics.
Yeah.
And
that makes sense.
I would like, and these are exactly the two, like often right. Contrary is just so cool, like running around and asking people for advice and then doing the opposite.
That's cool.
I think there's one other character.
That sounds a lot of fun.
I think there's one other character who's like, when they give advice and then the others don't listen to him, then they get XP.
Yeah.
And I remember one session I was playing with somebody, and he selected that on purpose. He wanted to have that and was explaining that, but then he forgot about it. And he didn't understand why everybody at the table was always doing the opposite. He made a suggestion what to do, and we were saying, That's one idea, but why not? Yeah. What is going on? Yeah. And then we were asking him that he should have leveled up already because so often his move trigger, and then he said, which move? Yeah, I think that is to some degree replacing the dynamic mechanics if you have characters and play with that, but you don't have to, and then it's not there at all. Yeah, indeed, yeah, and well, I think for one shots and for getting to know each other, it's a nice thing that you have this mystery thing which can go into any direction. There's no need for preparation. You don't.
Sort of follow the story and
it's it comes totally naturally and
that's cool. That's good.
And you couldn't make your mind up where to go. Then something had to happen, right?
Yeah, right.
So the tree came down, and it was and that was the beginning of our story.
Yeah. We met and we did some funny things like destroying the camera and meeting Frank and
yeah, indeed,
yeah. My successful manipulating of Frank.
Yeah. Oh, Frank, he made us sandwiches.
Yeah. These are the details. The sandwiches.
Everyone wanted to make us sandwiches.
Yeah, the world was nice to you.
Yeah.
Even Mark Miller was nice to you.
And he was supposed to be an asshole.
Yeah.
Right. Well, it is getting too late.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you have to get back home too.
I need to walk home. Yes.
Yeah. Tuk-tuks are done for the night.
Yes. Yeah.
You might out here though. That's the thing. Is in town you might catch them, but then it's not too bad of a walk.
Indeed. Yeah. Thanks for playing. And
thank you for it.
Well, we keep on talking, and when my brother comes back, which he's supposed to be back, well, he's supposed to be arriving now, so we'll try to figure out another day that works for him. Because I know that he would have fun.
Absolutely, and David, also happy to run with you. So if you want to run a game, then again,
sure.
The more people sit behind one camera, but it worked well, right?
Yeah.
Well, maybe we can figure out try the other stuff too. This is unfortunately what I really wish. I mean, I guess the signal wouldn't be as strong, but if I had a wireless router, my little computer sometimes works to hook up to. It's really random as to whether people can hook up to it or not. Anyways, well, have a great rest. It was fun.
Yeah.
And
hopefully game with you all again soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Good night. Have a great night.
See you online.
Yep.